Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is season 2, episode 17, whatever it is at this point. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. We do have game 3 of the World Series up right now. The Dodgers are just amazing. They're up 2-0, top third. Shohei Ohtani's up to bat. We really need the Shohei Ohtani up to bat thing on here. It'd just be hilarious.
Yeah,
But
yeah, they're up 2-0 right now.
yeah,
They're
outside of
if they win this game, they're up 3-0.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
kind of seems like it's going to go that way, but entertaining series as is. The Packers squeaked away with a win, but other than that, it was not a good sports weekend for me. I know you suffered every day. The only light I have at this point is Thunder 3-0. And Jordan's injury, I guess, is not that bad. But we do play the Lions this week. But we'll go ahead and hop right into it with our college football roundup first. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share, and let us know what you think. So, Oklahoma, that was the most. If football games were 30 minutes, that would have been a perfect shutout. Or not a shutout, but that would have been a perfect game, right? I was complimentary football. His defense played
yeah.
well. The offense moved the ball up the field. First drive, going for it on 4th and 1 from the 3. Don't hate it. But it's complimentary football. They played well enough to win. And then the third quarter happened. Really, it kind of seems like the Jacob Sexton injury was the end-all, be-all, which is weird because he's been not good for most of the season. Logan Howland was awful. But the Sooners do end up, they were up 14-10 at halftime. Like I said, if football games are 30 minutes long, OU would have won. And then they get shut out 16-0 in the second half. Ended up losing 14-26. I think there's been a few things established in this game. Jackson Arnold's your guy. The secondary really isn't that good. I know one of the touchdowns, Sammy Omosigo was playing a deep third at safety, pretty much. I don't like that, but
Is it that they're not good, or was it just not the best game plan from a defensive perspective?
see, that's what I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was bad game planning or if they're just playing better and better talent.
Just
But
doesn't really seem like there was any like creative like blitz packages or anything.
yeah,
I
which
mean, I know
sucks.
not having Kendall Dolby. I mean, that's a huge loss for
Yeah,
sure. Um, but I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like, hey, rush 4, and then maybe like we'll drop our Mason Thomas in coverage and then blitz a linebacker against that huge front,
yeah.
the offensive line. It's
It
just
is
kind
kind
of
of
weird.
weird. It
But I mean,
doesn't
they're
seem
trying.
like it doesn't seem like the defense can generate pressure without sending extra guys though. Like as good as they are in the run game, their 4-man front really doesn't do a whole lot. Like our Mason Thomas
Well,
almost gets there on every fucking play, but
I
almost
actually
doesn't
thought the
count.
defensive line played well. I thought they
No,
held,
they
they
did.
did really good in the rush game. Like,
Yeah, no,
I
they
don't know.
did great in the run game. It's the pass
The
game.
linebackers are really good too. It's just zone coverage is an issue it's been an issue for a while. I think
Yeah,
you just need elite lockdown corners, in my opinion, and that's just something that we haven't been able to have. And maybe Eli Bowen gets there. I don't know. We'll see. But not having Gentry Williams this season has been it's been rough.
yeah.
Not having Kendall Dolby's even harder
Yeah,
because you
Gentry
got
Williams and Kendall Dolby, those losses
and
really hurt.
not playing Woody Washington at corner is frustrating because that's what he's good at, and he was good at it all last season. And
Yeah,
like I know you want him to try to play multiple positions, but just put him out there. Just he's so good in coverage. Like
yeah.
like I know he's not like a big, tall presence. Neither is Eli Bowen, but it seems like those are your two best corners right now. And no offense to Des Malone or Kanai Walker, I thought they played good.
Yeah.
They're just better in man, and when they have somebody over the top, like when they have a safety that's over the top.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. I feel like defensively, they played well, but just like almost like the Texas game, it comes to a handful of plays, right? The Texas game, they played great for
Just too many
especially the
explosive
start.
plays given up.
Yeah. In the Texas game, it was explosives in the run game, right? This game is explosives in the pass game. I saw a stat. It was, Jackson Dart threw for 311. 60% of the passing yards came on 6 plays.
Yeah, credit to him. He played good.
Yeah. I feel like
he was really good.
that 3rd and 13 after the Cade Woolard sack was a fantastic play by Ole Miss. And that's one you look at and you're like,
It was a great play by Jackson Dart. He was about to get sacked again. He threw it to Trey.
yeah.
Was it Trey Harris who
No,
wasn't
Trey
supposed to
Harris
play?
didn't play. It
Who
wasn't
was
him. He
the
didn't play.
Who was 11? Was it Juice
Uh,
Wells?
I think it was Juice Wells.
What? It was an incredible play by Jackson Dart.
Jordan Watkins.
Jordan Watkins.
Yep.
That was a throw on the run, off platform, needed to have it, and he got it. So
yeah, it just is almost kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, it was 16-10. We're about to get them off the field again, and they just make an absolute awesome play, which, again, you kind of look up, and it's like, damn, like hell of a play. Like, you can't defend a perfect pass. You can't defend a perfect play. So it's just one of those deals where they just –
well, and Ole Miss still has a lot of questions surrounding it because Walter Nolan got hurt again.
Yeah. Very undisciplined, by the way.
Yeah, they have a lot of questions to answer because they have a very good football team, and you need Walter Nolan out there. But you could tell, like, the injury that he sustained before the OU game also affected him in this game, and he ended up getting injured again, which that sucks for him. He's a fantastic player. I'd love if he transferred to Oklahoma. But
I know, right?
But yeah, no, their defensive line that had been really good. Shout out to Oklahoma's offensive line. They played really good in the first half. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the first half. Defense, bend but don't break. They gave up the first touchdown on the first drive. Great play scripting. Second drive, they were going to score again. Obviously, Ethan Downs with the awesome play. He was really good. Mason Thomas was really good. Grayson Halton, really good. Everybody on the D line I thought played really well. They held point the way that they needed to.
Let me ask you a question about Ethan Downs. I feel like after the first couple of years of Ethan Downs' career, it's like he's a nice player, but it's not anything special, and he still doesn't do anything too special.
Most important person on our D line, not even close.
A, that, but B, do you think he's playing himself into a decent enough draft pick?
Mm-hmm. 5th round.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It went from being undrafted to he's going to be a 4th round pick. He's got the size. He's 6'4", 260 pounds. Maybe not the longest arms, but
I mean,
he's got just natural. He's got almost unnatural strength.
Yeah, well, he's playing that game on a bad hamstring, and apparently his shoulder was pretty messed up as well. But I mean, he's long arming the tackle. He
needs to sit out next game.
Yes,
get healthy.
But he's like long arming the tackle, and he's walking him back into Jackson Dart's lap. Well,
it's what happens when a guy has experience. I mean, look what experience did for Kelvin Banks at Texas. The guy was not a very good offensive tackle, and he's played much better other than the Georgia game. But he's been really good. You get experience, you get comfortable, you do all your work in the weight room and in the off season, and it's showing. Look at Danny Stutzman.
Yeah,
experience, what it's done for him. You just need guys with experience. That's kind of what we need next year. On the offensive line, hopefully Fabechi stays. Fabechi showed me a lot in this game. Was he great? No, but he had some blocks that I was like, that's what it's supposed to look like.
The Jackson Arnold fumble, though, that one sucked. And it wasn't even all on him. He got caught up coming out of the.
Are you talking about the one after J.J. Hester saved us from that fumble onto? No, that was on Logan Allen.
No.
Oh no! You're right.
Because Fabechi comes across to pick up, and he stumbled. He got caught up in Troy Everett's feet, and he just couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking,
but one of the 9 times, 18 times in the last 2 games, Jackson's been sacked.
Dude, it's getting really frustrating with Jackson Arnold because I know he's got it. You can tell he's got it. He's making good decisions, but he just needs to learn. He needs a quarterbacks coach. He needs more time with an experienced quarterbacks coach. And I'll say this because we didn't mention it when we first started talking about the offense. Let's go ahead and let's do this real quick before we get into the meats and potatoes of everything. Shout out Kevin Johns and Joe John Finley.
Hell of a
I
game
thought
plan.
they did as good as they could with what they had, and when you lose your left tackle, it's hard to kind of game plan around that. And I feel like they called a pretty good game. Guys
Yeah,
need to learn to execute. You can't fumble Taylor Tatum. Um, but I
every
thought
goddamn time you touch the ball.
he's he's I'm starting to see something with Taylor Tatum that I didn't see on his high school tape. Like I'm starting to see the twitchiness. I'm starting to see like he's seeing the holes, and like I like that. I just hope that he doesn't continue to have a fumble problem because that's not going to be very good for his career. But like I'm starting to see it. I think I know. I think DeMarco Murray was onto something
You're starting
because
to see
there's
why
just
he was
time.
the number one running back in that class.
Yeah, he needs to show a little bit more explosiveness. He definitely needs longer runs because I'm seeing stuff with Cade Durham that I haven't seen with him. But he had some runs that could have been much longer than that. So I'm
Outside of
starting to
him
see,
fumbling, he runs through garbage really well.
yeah, he
Like in
does.
between the tackles, and he's
And that's
also
the thing. The run
smaller, but
game,
he gets through there well.
the run game, it was really good. Jackson Arnold, Taylor Tatum, obviously Javante Barnes,
They were opening up
because
some
the offensive
holes
line.
early for Javante Barnes.
Well, yeah, they played tough. They played physical. That's what you like to see. And a lot of that is guys. It feels like the game plan that they had and the plays that they were calling, they led to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we're going to establish the run. We're going to set up pass. If it's not there, Jackson Arnold would take off with his feet and make Ole Miss respect him on the ground. He needs to learn like to read the field better, though.
He's got to pull the trigger.
Guys are open. JJ Hester's open. Brennan Thompson's open. You know, he found
Michael
um,
Jordan.
Bauer Sharp. He found Bauer
Oh,
Sharp
yeah.
late on the very first touchdown. Can't float the ball that high. I mean, that's a tough
Yeah.
catch. Credit to Bauer Sharp. I know a lot of people are really upset with him. I thought
He blocked better.
it wasn't his, like a lot of that stuff wasn't his fault. Like he's had problems catching fastballs. So don't throw a
Mm-hmm.
fastball, Jackson. Let him work up
Same
to
thing with
that.
JJ Hester. JJ Hester in the South Carolina game, he was bobbling everything because he was getting a fucking Aroldis Chapman 105-mile-an-hour fastball at his face.
Well, and then they were also behind him as well.
Yeah, they
Like
were
that's the thing
late.
with Jackson is like he's not learning. He's waiting for the guy to get open.
It's
You
because he
you
doesn't have a
need
quarterback's coach.
yeah. Well, I don't think he has a very
Partially.
good offensive. He didn't have a very good offensive game plan going into it. I know all your guys
Yeah.
get hurt. You have to learn the route concepts. You have to learn like, hey, what do guys like to do on these plays? Like, you work all off season with those five guys that are all out. I I understand like it's going to be tougher to try to get timely throws to JJ Hester and some of those other guys, but um, yeah, no, I mean, the wide receivers that I'd like to see out there are the guys that have been out there, except for the true freshmen. Like I think they just needed another year. I know like you're very limited, but I mean
Yeah.
it's clear Zion Reagan's he just hasn't been able to do anything. Zion Kearney hasn't been able to really do anything. They can't get open. I think a lot of it is training and
It's not ready.
working up to like play speed. Yeah, which
But
which sucks because I mean these guys are 4-star recruits. Like they should be ready to go.
yeah.
So development hasn't been great. Also, Emma Jones, like I love him. Go sign a 5-star. Go sign a 5-star. They're a 5-star for a reason. Why can't we get a 5-star wide receiver?
Yeah.
I know like recruiting's hard for the University of Oklahoma all of a sudden, but whatever. At least on offense.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know about you. Especially after watching Missouri get just destroyed by Alabama. That game gave me a little bit of false hope. I feel like maybe we can get to 6-6. It's our best shot. We got to win our next two. I mean, we're going to beat Maine. We're going to. If we don't,
Yeah,
Brent Venables should not have a job that's Sunday morning. But we're going to beat Maine. And then our last hope's Missouri. I feel like, to be honest.
First of all, let me shout out some of the guys. Jacob Sexton was awesome. I'm really sad that he got hurt because I thought he played really good. Some stuff that he needs to work on, but he played with toughness and like physicality, and he was moving guys as best as he could. One thing I like, they didn't just continuously sub offensive linemen out. They stuck to their guns. They said, you know what,
Yep.
We're going to keep Ethozide out there. We're going to keep Troy Everett, Fabechi Wuwu, and Tarquin. I think next game you need to move Tarquin to left tackle and put Logan Hallen at right tackle and just see if he's more comfortable there because you need a good blindside blocker. I know like he's not as physically gifted or like athletically gifted, Tarquin, but he blocks guys. He plays the whistle.
Yeah, he's more mentally sound though. That's kind of what you need on that side. You can't have lapses. You need someone, even if Tarquin is much better at right than he's been at left, but I'd take 75% Tarquin at left over Logan Hallen or Spencer Brown or anybody right now.
Well, and I hate that Hallen's in that situation. I'm sure he's not ready. Like there's some stuff.
He was a tight end in high school, and he's a redshirt freshman. Yeah. There's only so far you can go.
You know, so that means he's going to end up being a dog.
Yeah, exactly. He's
going to end up being a dog later on, hopefully. But put him at right tackle. Just do it. It seems like all the tight ends that we've ever turned into tackles, they've been great at right tackle. So just put him there.
Or even quarterbacks, Lane Johnson.
Yeah, maybe he's right foot dominant. You know,
could be.
But I like that. I don't like just constantly subbing guys out. Like have some continuity. Like let them make them. The season's already done. Like let them learn and develop and have continuity with each other. You know, Fabechi needs to come back. Ethozaida's coming back. Sexton, he needs to come back too. He has a lot to work on.
I don't know if Sexton plays again this year though. I heard that injury's pretty bad.
Yeah,
at least severe enough for the last 5 games. I know that, but I'm just saying. So
get in the weight room, get your body right. Trust Speed and Bo to hopefully get things going in the right direction. Have some continuity. Like I'm kind of at that point now where it's like, do we really want to get a guy from the transfer portal again? Because they haven't really hit. I think a big other than Tarquin, which the most surprising, honestly.
And Walter Rouse.
Yeah, I mean Rouse was but he was already like an established good offensive lineman.
Yeah, he was a 5th-year senior. He had played tons of football. And,
So establish some continuity there. Get in the weight room, get your weight up, get your strength up. Hopefully you can be a little bit better. Javonte Barnes, that's it. That's what I wanted to see from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was making guys miss. He was finding a hole. He was
catch the ball in the backfield, making dudes miss. Like, oh my God! Finally,
who knew that having a new offense, like firing Seth Luttrell would.
Maybe we should have done that to start the season, before anything happened.
Yeah, it felt like he was playing with a little bit more of an edge, and I like that.
Like, I do have a question for you regarding that Seth Luttrell thing.
Does this boost the confidence of the running backs a little bit? You think this is gets them going? And because I know Barnes
boosts confidence the whole offense.
The stat sheet was he had over 100 yards. He had over 100 scrimmage yards.
Mm-hmm.
But he had some runs where it was like that's what you want to see.
Yep. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Watching now, I know, and we talked about this on the last episode. Obviously, this was not Seth Luttrell's offense, right? It's not his offense. But does what Joe John and Kevin Johns did this past weekend almost kind of taint what we had thought about Seth Luttrell a little bit more? The fact that with the same players, the same scheme, Joe John's doing a lot more. And I know Joe John came up in the RPO thing. He came up under the Levy, the Art Riles tree. He came up from Baylor. That's his thing. But it's like
we'll see what it looks like moving forward.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. I heard some people talking about that, and I was like, 60 minutes is not enough to tell me that.
Yeah, because the second half was brutal.
Yeah.
That's exactly. What happened in the second half is what I thought was going to happen in the first half. Credit to the players for playing with toughness and executing correctly and doing what they needed to do against that stout defensive line. I still think Ole Miss's defensive line is very good.
The Dodgers are still batting, dude. Holy shit.
And they're up 3-0, and it's bases loaded.
Will Smith.
Wow. Yeah. I'm going to say something.
Go.
And I think it's just because I had a really bad football weekend. I think I'm done with Brent Venables. I'm sorry.
Are you?
I'm done with both of the head coaches for both of my teams. The fourth down, you're trying to jump off, or you're trying to make them jump off sides, and then you take the time out just to bring on the punt team so they can punt it away. What are you doing? I even tweeted out like afterwards when it
you
happened.
take the 5 yards.
I never like tweet. Like I always like keep my opinions to myself, and like I believed in Brent Venables still. He has a problem managing games that he just needs to figure out, and I don't know if the University of Oklahoma in the situation that we're in after Lincoln Riley was fired. I appreciate him for like rebuilding and bringing in really good football players on at least on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive side of the ball. Like Nick Anderson, Jaden Gibson, like all those guys are going to be really good next year. But like this, like what are you doing? Like you have to know, like your in-game situations. Like he mismanages games very often.
Well, that bleeds into the team as well.
And exactly. What do you can't do that. Like you have to, like that's got to be something that he works on. It's frustrating because I like Brent Venables a lot. He is a very, very, very good defensive minded coach. Now he gave up 26 points to Ole Miss. Like you're not going to have a game where you're always perfect. Like your defense is never going to always be perfect. Ask Nick Saban. Ask Kirby Smart. They've both had multiple games where they're giving up points. So like he's still like a defensive like mastermind in my opinion. But as a head coach, you have to do better. Like
you know what I feel like he needs? I feel like he needs. You said what?
An ayahuasca trip.
Yeah, darkness retreat. No, I feel like he needs, and obviously not Seth.
He's really mad,
but he needs a former moderately. It doesn't even have to be very moderately successful head coach as his analyst in his ear, talking him through situations.
That fourth down looked like a first down to me, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like that fourth down, he called the timeout, goes for the punt. What was it, like 4th and inches?
Something like that. Yeah. Fourth in the football.
It looked like they got the first down. Why didn't he at least like?
Well, that was a problem. Remember in the 2022 season where they would, like, the West Virginia game was a perfect example. In the West Virginia game, the 2022 season, they get up and it's towards the end of the game. It's on the drive for them going late in the game to go put a drive together, right? To go score and pull it, either take the lead. I don't remember the exact scenario. But it's 3rd and short. They get to 4th and inches. Every spot showed you that they likely got that. Hurry up, snap the ball, and go. And then throw an incompletion. It's the same issue that's been rearing its ugly head since they started. Give the officials time to look at it. Give the conference time to look at it. Throw the fucking challenge flag. Call a timeout. Throw fucking water bottles on the field. Get somebody to stop and go, wait a second, did they get that? Because if you're just snapping the ball again or taking a timeout and punting the ball and trying to get someone to jump, it's not going to happen. Yeah. No one's going to go back and look for it. You have to do that. Get up there and chew a fucking ref's ass out until someone comes over there and tells you how you didn't get it or shows you that you didn't get it.
If you don't trust your quarterback in the situation, like to throw the ball, like if you want to design something like, hey, this looks like it's going to be a run or a quarterback sneak, but you don't trust your quarterback to make a throw to get the first down, quarterback sneak it. It was 4th and inches. Just try something.
A big enough dude.
You have to try to go for it. I know, like, you don't trust your offensive line, but put extra blockers out there. Put the tight ends there. Push them.
Exactly. Just push.
If you're worried about injuries, like, oh, well, like we're just kind of at that point now.
We're past that point to be worried about injuries.
We're way past that. Like
you have to swing for the fences in every football game that's remaining.
Yeah. You have to like show your players like you need to establish an identity, and I feel like there hasn't been an identity. Yep. There is on the defensive side of the ball, I think.
I hope.
Yeah. Credit Zach Alley. He's done a fantastic job. I'm glad Brent Venables made that change. Like you needed to change from Ted Roof, and it's paid off dividends. He's just a much younger, understands Brent Venables' scheme a lot better, but there are questions for Brent Venables, and I know like we had them going 8-4, but with a good roster because we didn't trust the offensive line. But there's a lot more issues at play. Like, can we keep players healthy? Like,
You
are we
think
going to be
if the offensive line, instead of being last in the country and damn near everything, if they're in the 50s and 60s, do you think this team has at least probably 2 more wins?
We don't have 4.
Yeah, I think if the offensive line is,
I think we beat Tennessee,
we
and
beat South Carolina probably.
I don't know, man. Those edge rushers are really good.
It's hard to judge a South Carolina game because how bad it
I
started.
think we would have beaten Ole Miss. I don't think we would have beat South Carolina. Just to be honest, I think South Carolina came in with a game plan and they were going to execute it. And I think they called off their offense when they realized they were up 21-0.
That's fair.
I think we probably would have beaten Tennessee and Ole Miss, but we would not have beaten Texas, and I don't think we
No.
would have beaten South Carolina. I know Ole Miss is a better team, but I think they just planned better for Ole Miss.
Yeah,
And
I see that.
maybe we're only 5-3. Maybe we don't. I think we definitely could have beaten Tennessee though with the way the defense played, and if the offense was better.
If the offense is better, you can argue we take probably 12 points out of Tennessee's total. The safety, a field goal, and probably one of the touchdowns they got.
Maybe not Tennessee now. They figured out Nico, but Tennessee when we played them.
Yeah, exactly.
If we were to play Tennessee now, no, I don't think so, because I think maybe Josh Heupel's kind of figured out the identity of his offense a little bit more.
But if someone else could do that.
There's just some, like, decisions that Brent Venables makes in game. It's like, and if he's not the one making the decisions, if he's giving the keys to Joe John Finley and to Kevin Johns, like, as like you just like promoted him, like you have to be there and you kind of have to be a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just, I don't know. They're not completely undisciplined, but there's just some things that they do that it's like, come on, man. These are things you shouldn't be doing now.
I agree.
Like some of the offsides, some of the, offsides or false starts.
I agree.
Yeah. But, they were good in the first half. And so, like, I commend them for that. Like, Jackson Arnold played.
Fought their ass off.
Yeah. You got to learn to throw with anticipation and read the route, man. Brennan Thompson's open, dude. He is. He's a burner.
He's burning everybody.
Yes. Trust him. Because now there's probably going to be tape that Brennan Thompson's getting open.
Yeah.
Like they have to recognize, like he has to recognize that. Like Kevin Johns has to, like, coach him through that.
Any other thoughts?
I thought the tight ends played a little better. I mean, Jake Roberts had like the miraculous catch. He didn't really do much.
Yeah, and then he moved it like he had cement in his cleats. Know
your personnel. Don't throw a screen pass on 3rd and 26 or 3rd and 15.
Oh my God, I forgot. If you're
going to do it, do it to Brennan Thompson. Throw the screen to Brennan Thompson, because then you can have guys that I just drew a bunch of play designs yesterday morning because I was just really upset watching the film at some of the stuff they did in the second half. It's like, why did you get away from some of the stuff that you were doing? Like, I know, it was 20-14. It was 20-14 at one point, and then we just had like a massive like killer to give them back the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, this is kind of where we're at now. Like, I guess I'm not as like disappointed just because like the season is what it is. It just, I root for bad sports teams and it sucks the life out of me.
Yeah. Luke Elzinga look good though. Yet again.
Guy's a stud, man. Guy's an absolute stud.
Yeah, he might get drafted.
So, and Javonte Barnes, I hope this is his coming out party.
Yeah, not completely crazy to say that his coming out party could be 67 yards rushing and over 100 from scrimmage, but that's so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, people want to keep like when Jack would just kind of throw the dump down to like the dump off, or like you throw it to him in the flat. Like he was making guys miss. He's really good on the perimeter. So he's not getting tackled by the shoelaces anymore, which may be good in the long run. Keep it up.
Moving on, there were a few other games. A few others that we highlighted. Again, Oklahoma loses 14-26, but.
Well, so we're done? Like you don't have anything else on the Oklahoma game?
I could go on for hours and hours and hours, but
credit to
it's
Jackson
the same
Dart.
stuff we've said. Yeah, Jackson looked great.
Jackson Dart was very good, and Ole Miss fans should be very happy that he he did that against a really good defense. Like he had to make plays out of nothing, and he did. So, yeah, there's definitely a difference in the two Jacksons from first half to second half. Like first half, Jackson Arnold, it was like this is what you want to see. The touchdown throw to Jacob Jordan was
beautiful
awesome.
play, man. Way to get out of there. Way for Jacob Jordan just to carry across the field with your quarterback and just stay behind the goal line and know where you need to be. Like that's high
But now
IQ
with
football.
second out, you got to put Tarquin at left tackle and just practice in there. Practice Logan Helen at right tackle. Keep the offensive line the way it is. Look, Heath Ozida, he is what he is this year. Let him make the mistakes. Let him learn. Let him get better. Quit switching the way you do, unless there's an injury and you got to put Eddie Pierre-Louis out there.
Apparently, Brent Venables said in his coach's show today that Isaiah Autry, Dent, family of Marcus Dupree, by the way, Isaiah Autry Dent has been elevated from practice team pretty much, or scout team. He might get some run. So I doubt it means anything. He's not going to play. No freshmen are going to play. It's
Venables
just talking points at this point. But
doesn't care about making the team better. He cares about trying to help the seniors.
Yep.
That's all I got to say about that. We'll see what happens down forward. Like I just don't think I trust Venables anymore. I'm sorry. Until he shows me something.
Yeah, he's not getting fired this year. Like I said, unless they lose to Maine or.
I think 2026 is like the deadline for me. 2026 next. I'll give him another year next year because we got a great recruiting class.
If it stays together, because I don't know that our next offense coordinator is going to want to keep guys like Beaton-Bowe and Murray and all those guys on the squad. So we'll see.
I think he'll keep Beaton-Bowe.
We'll see. I don't think they should get rid of Beaton-Bowe. I'm with you, but we'll have to see.
I think it's just like with Fasusi and Foji. Dude, their tape is very impressive.
Foje was murdering fools this past weekend, man.
Foji impressed me. And Fasusi just looks like Tyler Guyton, like maybe just like a couple inches shorter, but he's so athletic. It's insane that a guy can move like that at 305 pounds.
Yeah.
So I think next offensive coordinator, you probably look at it and say, we need to establish an identity. Like, we need to get these offensive players up to speed, and we have a quarterback that we need you to fix because we think he's got a very high ceiling and he can make all the throws and he's athletic and he can run. I'm glad that I was right about Jackson Arnold, that he wasn't the problem. And I feel like I know football a little bit.
Yeah, and we were kind of on that early. I mean, we both agreed you had to bench him in the Tennessee game, but just due to the circumstance, but that he probably shouldn't have been benched going forward. So Michael Hawkins' experiment was kind of fun, but is what it is.
Let him learn and develop. Hopefully,
it wasn't fun. It was
he stays.
Hopefully. Moving on, though.
He wants to be at OU.
I think so too.
I have faith that both of these. Like, if you have a chance to be the quarterback at OU, you typically don't leave unless there's just like a mass exodus.
Yeah.
No.
But moving on.
Williams is.
Yeah, he's kind of an outlier there, and Spencer Rattler was benched. So
when he was also going to USC, which is like another place. Like if you were going to leave OU, you'd be for like USC or like Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia, and like your coach. So anyway, that's our thoughts on OU. Hopefully we can beat Maine, and if we beat Missouri, that would be great because Alabama and LSU. I mean, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, they're going to beat the shit out of us. A few other games of note this weekend. I swung and missed pretty bad. I'm looking like a Yankee right now, thinking about the Oregon-Illinois game. I was just way wrong. Oregon just trounced them. 21 points second quarter. It was never that close.
Remember when I asked you before the Ohio State game, like, are we sure Ohio State was just going to trounce them, or that that Oregon just hadn't played their best football yet? And ever since then, it's just been like Oregon's firing on all cylinders, dude. Dylan Gabriel
he's second all time in yards and passing touchdowns now.
He just knows how to play quarterback. He's done it for so long now. He's a 7th-year guy. 6th year.
Do you think he'll be – I think his mind can be pretty sought after in the NFL.
Early 5th-round pick. For sure.
Yeah.
He's 5'11".
I think you send him somewhere with a young quarterback and just put them in the meeting room together and just let him help him develop. He's not going to be a starter in the NFL, but he's got the mind.
Mm-hmm. He may look. He's athletic enough. Like I think he has NFL talent. It may not be like high end NFL talent, but I'll tell you this.
I mean, if Gardner Minshew can start and get some wins in the NFL, doesn't game.
Hey, come on, get off my boy.
My bad, man.
I was a big Gardner Minshew fan and Mike Leach guys. I like Gardner Minshew. I actually thought he would turn out to be solid.
So I never thought he was going to be that great, but I
wanted him not saying great, but like I thought he'd be solid. And he's had a solid career. Not fantastic, but it's been good enough.
Above average in terms of
he's been firing on all cylinders. If they had Bucky Irving, I'd pick them to win the national championship.
Yeah, he might single-handedly.
I think that's one thing is like they are having to generate some run plays with Dylan Gabriel, which he's really good at. I mean, he can do it all. He's a dual threat. But when you have guys like Evan Stewart and Tez Johnson, your life becomes a lot easier because you can trust those guys. And their offensive line's playing a lot better. And they absolutely destroyed in Illinois. If Oregon and Indiana were to play right now, who would you take?
Oregon.
And that's crazy to say with how good Indiana's been, right? But that's just like,
yeah.
Like
if Indiana and Ohio State were to play right now,
I take Indiana.
Think so?
I would take Indiana. I think Kirk Cignetti. I trust Kirk Cignetti out of any coach in the Big Ten right now, but I trust Oregon's roster because I just feel like there's going to be
that's a run.
There's a big game. Like Dan Lanning is an awesome recruiter, and he did a fantastic job against Ohio State with some of the stuff that he did, and then the 12th man, like at the very end of the game was brilliant. But I know what he did last year against Washington twice, where it was just like a coaching wonder. If he's learned from that, then Oregon is going to be a problem going forward. But I need to see what it's going to look like in the playoffs.
I agree.
I need to see if he's going to get the bye. If they stay number one, if they go undefeated with the win over Ohio State, they don't play Indiana, do they?
Oregon? No. I don't think so. No, they don't. This is who they have left. They have Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, Washington left.
If he just has a coaching if he goes up against Luke Fickell and he out coaches Luke Fickell, then that he's 100%, in my opinion, going to get a bye and be the number one seed. Like if they get a massive win over Wisconsin. I'm gonna need to see what they do. Dylan Gabriel, but the coaching stuff, what happens? Are you going to throw the kitchen sink, or are you going to have a coaching malpractice incident where, we've seen with Oklahoma, or what we've seen with Dan Lanning in the past?
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't have a whole ton of thoughts on this game. I mean, really, it was just an absolute blowout. It was I spent most of my afternoon watching my favorite fighters get their ass kicked.
Ohio State squeaks away with the win against Nebraska.
Yeah, Will Howard only threw the ball 16 times. Ohio State didn't look too great.
Dylan Rydell, he's a freshman. He's a true freshman. He showed me that his third year, he's going to be an absolute problem. But he's a true freshman. So he's not playing great right now, and people want to trounce on the kid. You can see the talent's there. Give him time. Give the roster time. I'm starting to see it with Matt Rule. He's won everywhere he's been. He will have Nebraska going. It's going to take a couple more years. Nebraska was a dumpster fire, dude.
Yeah.
The fact that he's 5-3 now, I'm very impressed with Nebraska. Especially with that win over Colorado. That looks a lot better.
Yeah. Colorado
that is starting to look a lot better. But now you got UCLA coming up. You got USC. If you can beat USC in Iowa, you might lose to Wisconsin. You might beat them. You might be able to beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, if you
You
can stop
should beat
Tommy Walker,
UCLA.
you should.
Yeah.
Which
But
that's a big
yeah,
if.
that game was honestly a lot of fun. Jeremiah Smith is their wide receivers are incredible. I wish we can get the wide receivers that Ohio State got.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Notre
Um,
Dame Browns Navy. I was so sad to watch that game.
I was, I
It
was too.
just Marcus Freeman and their squad. They just have better players and better talent.
Yeah.
So and they did a really good job. The only thing they gave up was the very long run on the option,
Yeah.
which they almost got a tackle for loss. Quarterback made a great play.
Um, Penn
Why
State,
was UCF?
Wisconsin. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, why was UCF favored versus BYU? That game went exactly how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we were both on
I
that one
told
because
you it was a
it's a very
trap,
similar
and
situation to fucking the Colorado game.
I told you that I didn't want to touch that game. I'm glad I didn't because I see UCF, which has not been a very good football team, get favored over BYU. That makes you want to take them because it's like Vegas knows something. I would have taken UCF and I would have looked really stupid. But the game went how I thought it would. I thought BYU was going to smash them, and they did.
Yeah. Penn State,
Indiana.
Wisconsin.
Before we get to that, Indiana's still a wagon.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
game
Trolled through
wasn't
Washington
yeah
was
wasn't
never.
as close. It was
Yeah.
31-17. That might as well have been 48-10. I mean,
Yeah.
just the way the game kind of played out. I'm sorry. Alabama, Missouri was boring. Missouri without Brady Cook, like we got to give a little bit more credit to Brady Cook. We know what he is as a quarterback. He's not some high end, but he's just a much better quarterback than
Yeah.
what they have. And the other guy's young, so you know what is it? Drew Pine.
Was
Oh,
that the
he's not
quarterback?
young. He's a senior. He's not as good as Brady Cook.
Yeah. 6 for 12, 42 yards, and 3 interceptions.
Yeah. Shout out to Brett Norfleet. That's a massive tight end, 6'7", 235. Good God. If he puts on weight, he's going to be Darnell Washington.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, we can talk about Wisconsin, Penn State.
I
What do you want
mean,
to talk about?
really, it was just the fact that you were pretty fucking dead on until it got right
For,
to the end of the game. I mean,
yeah, I
they
can't have fun.
halftime. They did everything they had to do. Very similar to the OU Ole Miss game. They did what was necessary to win for as long as they possibly could to keep themselves in it for as long as they could. And
With the players that they have currently.
yep, yeah.
And then Penn State, they just have a really good roster. They have a really good that helped them in the end. And yeah.
Still worried about what happens to them when they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Really going to learn a lot about that team.
Doesn't Nick Evers play for Wisconsin? Why don't they throw him out there?
He's at Boise State now. No, Nick Evers at UConn. Malachi Nelson's at Boise State.
Oh, I thought he was still at Wisconsin.
He transferred to UConn.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was wondering. I was like, why don't they play him? Like he's had 3 years to develop.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me what, dude. Wisconsin, they need a quarterback because I'll tell you what, Vinny Anthony, that wide receiver's a stud. Not only only had 7 catches for 68 yards, but he's got speed, dude. That guy is. They haven't had a wide receiver like that in a very long time. He is impressive to watch. In the first half, he caught a slant, and he could have taken it to the house, dude. It was like that guy. He's going to be incredible. And Pauline, another good wide receiver for them. Yeah, no, I like Vinny Anthony a lot. That guy, he could be a really good wide receiver, and hopefully he stays because they need like a talented wide receiver like him. Kansas State barely got the victory over Kansas.
I know. SMU Duke, the game that I was all over. The goddamn Blue Devils almost pulled it out, man. I was so close. Oh, I was so close.
Yeah, man. That was a good game to have as your hungry dog.
Yeah, that's a hell of a game. The other one that I almost went with, Texas Vandy, man. Vandy was in it until the very end. He fought their ass off, man. Outscored them 14-6 second half.
I like Quinn Ewers.
No. Simply
I
because
like
he's at
Quinn
Texas.
Ewers. Well, no, I'm saying like as a person, as a leader, and as a player, I like Quinn Ewers a lot. I think he's a good kid, and I think he's got the talent. He's not going to be a starter in the NFL.
No.
I don't know if he's still hurt. There are just some times when he makes decisions, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Are we just forgetting to like teach quarterbacks now? Like, are we just trying to simplify the offense so much that we're not like training quarterbacks to like be a quarterback? I don't know what's going on in college football because I just feels like a lot more times people are quarterbacks are playing hero ball.
Yeah.
That was the problem with Diego Pavia. He's the man, but there were too many times where he was trying to play hero ball in this game rather than take what the defense gives you. I know there wasn't a lot there, but shout out Texas defense. They made it scary. Vanderbilt scored with 46 seconds left, and if they get that onside kick, then
might be talking about Texas a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Are
we? What do we think of Texas next year when they lose a bunch of their players to the NFL? Like, I still believe Sark's going to field a good team because I think you're still going to have Jaden Blue and maybe C.J. Baxter comes back, but Arch Manning kind of still in his development stage. I think Arch Manning will be a good quarterback, but are they going to be able to put together like a good offensive line? Because their offensive line this year has been awesome.
They got a shot this year to go win a title,
and then maybe like
in 2 years
they'll finally like rebuild. Because I think Sark is a fantastic coach. Like his second shot at being a head coach, I think he's doing a great job. But there's a little bit of the USC coming out of him with some of his like play calling, and some of his like mismanagement. Every coach has like we don't need to harp on like every single coach, especially because he's winning. He's 7-1. He's doing a great job with what was a dysfunctional Texas program. And so, like if he could just keep it together, like this is his shot this year.
Here's the thing:
Alfred Collins is going to be gone. Lole, I don't think he's going to have any more eligibility left. He's not Colin Simmons. Colin Simmons is a hell of a player, and you have Colton Basic, is it?
Colton Vosick, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be a hell of a player. Anthony Hill is a hell of a player. Like he's got
a fucking insane athlete.
He's
not a linebacker. He's just an athlete right now.
Yeah. If he can learn to be a linebacker, he's going to be an absolute fucking
Imagine if he would have stayed committed to OU.
Well, hey, he chose the decision that he made, and like next year, if Anthony Hill puts it together, that's an awesome linebacker to have. If he puts it all together and like everything if he has like a Danny Stutzman moment, he's going to be an absolute fucking problem. He's fun to watch. I don't care if he plays for Texas. Like he's just flying around the field. Malik Muhammad, he's gotten a lot better. Like they've got the talent to do it this year. Not having CJ Baxter kind of hurts because that's a bruiser.
Yeah.
Like that sucks for him, but they're going to get him back next year. I don't know. I mean, they've done a very good job recruiting. I mean, they just continually get top 10 wide receivers, and they're going to have that batch again next year.
Yeah.
But Isaiah, maybe Gunnar Helm. So I think he's probably eligible for the draft as well. I wouldn't see why he'd be a third-round pick unless they pay him a ton.
LSU Texas A&M went the complete opposite of what I expected. At halftime, I was like, that feels about right. And then I didn't even pay attention. I was out hanging with my buddy watching the fights, like I said. And then afterwards, played some Call of Duty. I just wasn't in the mind space to go watch anything. I just needed to fucking get my anger out, which is evidently what we're going to get from you here in a few minutes. Texas A&M just turned it on in the second half. Like, I didn't even – the shit was insane.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just felt like Texas A&M couldn't do anything against LSU. Garrett Nussmeier had his way with A&M.
5 yards, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you played 4 quarters of football.
Yep.
He was amazing. And if it's not Kyron Lacey, it's Aaron Anderson.
It's another, just like Ohio State. Like, they just have every wide receiver you'd ever need.
And he's small. He's smaller than Deion Burks. He looks small on the field, but he's just incredible. Yeah. I don't know if they benched Connor Wegman. I don't know if he got hurt or if they just took him out, but then Marcel Reed he had two passes. And they were both complete, and he had 70 yards, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Absolutely insane athlete.
They couldn't stop him. Like Marcel Reed, if he puts it all together and he's their quarterback going forward, he's got the talent. He's got the talent. He could absolutely do anything and everything for this offense. I wish we can get the talent that A&M has, but they got that oil money, so.
Yeah, they got family money down there.
Texas A&M's their front seven is absolutely insane. They've got the best defense in the SEC. I'll put them over Georgia in terms of talent.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to take Kirby Smart's defensive mind, which Mike Elko has the same defensive mind, so I don't know. I think that Texas A&M's defense and Georgia's defense are just on a completely different level because they've had time to get those players in. Watch out if Jay Valai gets some 5-star corners. Watch out.
Brandon Hall gets more fucking good safeties.
I think he's doing a fantastic job.
He's doing great. Don't let Todd
Also,
Bates,
we didn't talk about this real quick, and we don't have
more.
Yeah, for sure. Because David Stone's going to be a problem, and Jaden Jackson already is a problem. One thing about before we go back into this game, Jacob Hardy, or is it Jaden Hardy or Jacob Hardy? Jaden Hardy. Recover the fumble.
Yep.
Recover the fumble.
Entirely different game.
I know you're a freshman.
Offense was rolling.
You practice that shit. Yeah. Anyways, LSU now 6-2. Backs are kind of against the wall. And A&M is the only one that's undefeated in SEC play.
Yeah, I know.
This is what we didn't want. Like,
they're a few plays away from being the number 1 team in the country. You realize that, right? If they don't lose to Notre Dame, they're the number 1 team in the country right now.
And Notre Dame just automatically gets into the playoffs if they win out and A&M continues to look. They get the 5 seed, no problem, in my opinion.
Oh,
they get the 5
100%.
Because of how good A&M's look. This is what we didn't want. Like, everybody, like, you wanted to keep Jimbo Fisher. We didn't want them to have a good coach. That's why when they fired him in the talks of, hey, they're going to sign Mark Stoops, it was like, oh, God, no. Like, A&M's finally got it right. And then they go and get Mike Elko, and it's like, God, why?
Yeah. God damn it. Why couldn't Mike Elko go somewhere like Vanderbilt or like San Diego State? Why you got to go to Texas A&M where they got all the money and all the resources you could ever need?
He's a good coach, man. His defense, oh, my God. They do some stuff that it's just incredible, dude.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Like, they do stuff on their defense that reminded me, like, a lot of the stuff that we did early on, like that Oklahoma did early on. Like, just wow. Like, it's just insane what those athletes can do, and what, like, if you put together some of the game planning that he had done, and like the adjustments that he made in the second half too. It's just Texas A&M is a problem, and don't look now, but their final game of the season against Texas.
Yeah, that's in College Station, right?
Yeah, you needed Wegman to play because the way that it's looking now, I think Texas still wins that game, but you needed Wegman to be the guy because he's got the experience and he can make the throws. But that's a tough game to put Marcel Reed in. But they got South Carolina coming up, and that's going to be in South Carolina. I feel like that team has a bunch of hope, and they have a bunch of belief now.
Yeah.
So that might be a tough game for them. I still think Texas A&M wins. New Mexico State, they should win easily. Then they got to play Auburn in Jordan-Hare. They should win that game. And then the final game at Kyle Field against Texas that atmosphere is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like you're going to see a bunch of nut grabbing. It's going to be Texas A&M is a cult. They're going to be the most cult that we've ever seen. They're going to be drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Hopefully Missouri drinks Kool-Aid didn't show up in 2 weeks. So,
yeah,
that'll be my preferred method to win that football game.
You gotta get
one that we didn't talk about because we were kind of watching it while we were recording our last podcast. The Boise State UNLV game was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashton Jeanty's still your Heisman frontrunner, in my opinion. But
yeah, I think I finally put him over Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter had an awesome game against Cincinnati.
He did.
He was incredible. But when I watch Ashton Jeanty, I haven't seen a running back like that in a long time. I mean,
yeah,
Adrian Peterson, Derrick Henry, and he's smaller than both of them.
Yeah,
I can't remember a running back that plays the way that he plays.
It's Barry Sanders-esque.
Yeah.
But you got any other games you want to touch on?
Yeah, Colorado's 6-2. Would you like to apologize to Deion Sanders?
No.
Okay. I always believed in Deion Sanders. Don't really agree with his recruiting methods, but I felt like he did a good job in the transfer portal and getting the offensive line and getting the trenches right. He's got the talent. I mean, Webster's a wide receiver. Travis Hunter's probably be the number one in the draft. Yeah, Texas Tech coming up should beat them, but Texas Tech may play with an edge after the loss that they took. Wouldn't be surprised if Wells has a game plan. Utah, that's going to be an easy win. Cam Rising's out. Utah's not going to be very good. They are absolutely in play for the Big 12.
Who's your favorite in the Big 12 right now?
Colorado, man. With the way that they're playing. Yeah. I'll take Colorado over Kansas. I don't know, man. I think they can outscore Iowa State. That's the problem. If you have to go, Iowa State's going to make you play their game. But if Shedeur Sanders says, no, we're not having any of that, I don't think they can get in a scoring match with Colorado.
I agree.
If Colorado is not held to under 23 points, Iowa State's not going to be able to beat Colorado. If Colorado can score 35 points against that stout Iowa State defense, it's over. I like Rocco Beck a lot. I think he's the best quarterback they've had. I think he was better than Brock Purdy too.
Yeah. Oh, you remember Joel Lanning, the linebacker they had playing both ways?
That's also a lot because I liked Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy a lot at Iowa State.
Yeah.
Rocco Beck is he's a gamer, man. But yeah, they cannot get into a scoring match. If it's Colorado versus Iowa State, I'm thinking Colorado, man. If Colorado loses another game, they're probably not in the Big 12 championship, but
yeah. Well, they only have one conference loss? Yeah, they're 4-1. 4-1 conference.
They lost to Kansas State. I think in a rematch they could beat Kansas State. I genuinely think that. And I know Kansas State.
There's only a 3-point loss as well.
Yeah. I think they're playing with a lot of belief.
I agree.
But I have a couple coaching stuff that's going to be going on. Do we agree that Lane Kiffin's probably going to Florida?
I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about that right now because I don't think Billy Napier's lost his job yet.
I think it's over for him. I think he's playing to keep his job, but I think it's already set in stone. He would have to
treading water.
I think he is. I absolutely think he's treading water. I think it's already set in stone. If he beats Georgia, different story.
Holy fuck! I forgot they have Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss.
If he beats Georgia,
man,
completely different story. He has to win out though to keep his job. If he loses
win out?
Yes. They're already 4-3. I mean, they would not make a bowl game if they lose to Georgia because they're not going to beat Georgia or Ole Miss or Tennessee. Or I'm sorry, I'm looking at not going to be this for LSU or
Yeah. That's fair.
maybe this season a much better football team that just needed to figure it out. And you have DJ Lagway.
Fair enough.
He's a freshman. He's a true freshman. If they beat Georgia and they beat, let's say Texas,
Let's say they beat.
Could he lose to Ole Miss and like keep his job?
Let's say they beat Georgia, and then they lose to Texas LSU, and then they finish the season going 2-0 against Ole Miss, Florida State. So they finish at 7-5 with wins against number 2 ranked Georgia and the top 20 Ole Miss team, all likely at that time. Do you think he keeps his job?
I don't think he should, just because of the disaster that he's put on throughout his career.
Yeah.
I was way off about Billy Napier. I think strange coaching hires, like for some reason, like I always feel like they're gonna work out because I don't think he keeps his job. Lane Kiffin to Florida. I think Dion to Florida State.
Really?
I just don't think it's gonna. He would have to. Why wouldn't you try to go after Dion? Hey, look what he did for Colorado.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I just don't know that after last year. I know how bad it's been this year. I don't know that Florida State lets Mike Norvell go. I feel like they gave him a long enough leash. I feel like they might give him another year.
Okay. Yeah, and I think they should just to see what next year looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm very biased. I would give Brent Venables until 2026. I'm 10. Get rid of Mike Norvell now. But that just has been based on what his Florida State career is like. Not that he couldn't be he's been a good head coach. He was a great head coach at
Memphis.
At Memphis, but maybe instead of Florida State,
Memphis. Just send him back to Memphis.
Yeah. Or even
I feel like he could do well in the Big 12. Like you give him someone
take
I mean, Kenny Dillingham's been great, but you give him Arizona. I think he does well.
Yeah, no, I think Arizona. Hell, I would even say. Never mind. I'm not going to say it.
What?
Nothing. Never mind. They're never going to get rid of him.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're never going to get rid of Gundy. Gundy could go out there, fill the stadium, and assassinate all 80,000 or 60,000 in there, and they'd be like, "We'll give him another year."
I like Gus Malzahn because he's won a national championship with Auburn, and he's been a good head coach. But let's just say UCF isn't the fit for him. Maybe UCF. Maybe he can recruit.
Keep him in.
Maybe they didn't work. Florida,
keep him in the state of Florida. The guys that the relationships he's established.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Fuck, I don't just give him Houston at that point. I think he'd do well at Houston.
No, Willie Fritz will turn it.
Oh yeah, Willie Fritz is. I love Willie Fritz, but I think he could do well.
Who would you want as? I mean, I guess we have the discussion before we go into the NFL. If Brent Venables doesn't work out, name just one head coach that you would like.
I don't even know, man. I don't know. I haven't looked enough into it, to be honest, as a problem. Would you want a guy that's been maybe? Would you want a guy that's established himself as a head coach, or would you want another coordinator? I'd want a head coach. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think you would probably need to because
Dabo? No.
PEDs, baby.
Yeah.
I think maybe. I don't know. I think you just have to give Brent another shot until
I think you take a shot like
because I think the 2026 schedule will be easier because the next 2 years are brutal. Yeah. And you're still trying to rebuild, and then all the injuries that have happened, and you just made a bad hire on the offensive staff.
Mm-hmm.
You kept the guys that have been successful, but I think you just need to make a brilliant hire at offensive coordinator. And if that can get going, and you're a much better football team, and you just learn like to manage some of the games better, then I think Brent Venables can be successful. But with the way that it's going right now, I just don't see that Brent Venables is going to be the future of Oklahoma. So who would you want as the head coach?
I'm not saying him specifically, but hold on, me before I fuck this up.
What? No, I can hear you.
Hold on.
Oh, were you looking him up?
Yeah, I think you take you take a similar shot like what Alabama did. I think you go get a Kalen DeBoer type guy, a guy that's proven he's a winner as a head coach. I don't know who that is, but you take a guy that's proven himself as a winner, whether it's at the Power 4 or the Group of 5 level, that's shown that he can do it at multiple different levels of football. Even if it is like Jed Fish, you know what I mean? Like the guy that took Kalen DeBoer's job.
Yeah,
I'm not
I know
saying
those
Jed Fish
that we're getting with Brent Venables and Zach Alley.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want Brent Venables to be gone, but I don't know, man. Like,
Saban?
Yeah, let's go get Saban. Let's bring Bob back, dude. Can we just have Bob back?
No, I'm done with that.
What about like a Jeremy Chadwell at Liberty? Davey Chadwell. John Summerall at Tulane.
Bill Belichick.
What if we just go get Todd Monken's brother Jeff at Army?
Yeah, I mean the Monkins, they got some offenses, man.
I do like Barry Odom though. I'm not gonna lie, I do like Barry Odom.
Yeah. Well, we can save that discussion for when we feel
have like to actually have it.
The wheels are kind of falling off the tracks, and
who knows? Maybe we go.
I don't want to admit it because I really like Brent Venables, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like sometimes you got to fail, and hopefully things can go the right way. Like that's happened with that coach. Look what Sarkisian. It was a complete failure at USC. Mm-hmm. Coach O at Ole Miss. When Coach O was the head coach at Ole Miss, it didn't go well, and then
I was actually talking about Coach O at work today. It's funny enough.
Yeah.
Who I think we should go get?
He's a fantastic recruiter, dude.
Yeah. Go Sooners. Go Sooners. You know who I think we should get though? Who I think makes the perfect sense, and honestly, I think right now we could go get him.
At OC? At
Jim
OC?
Harbaugh. No, head coach Jim Harbaugh.
It's not going to work. He's going to turn charges. He's going to turn the charges around. If he doesn't, then that would make sense. But no,
Mike Tomlin, you think maybe he's up? Maybe.
Oh yeah,
Mike Tomlin
playoffs every year and then not make it to the championship.
Oh, we already had that with Lincoln Riley. We tried that, it didn't work.
That's kind of with Bob Stoops. It was kind of the same. We'd make it to the championship game and then
big game, Bob. My soul. All right, we need to move on though. We're just gonna keep going in circles and circles and circles forever. So, we'll start the NFL talk here. Well, first of all, Monday Night Football. We're recording this during Giants Steelers, most predictable score of all time, 9-9 right now. just an absolutely perfect football game. We're going to do this a little bit backwards than usual. Usually we tackle the...
Well, I'll say this. Najee Harris might have found it.
Yeah. He's averaging 7 yards per carry right now.
Dude, he's been really good the last few games.
But
the Dodgers are going to walk away 4-0. They're going to win the World Series. It's not even going to be...
Yeah, it's not a battle. I'm done with it.
Shout out to the people that I work with that are from California, big Dodgers fans. I know they're very happy right now.
So we're going to do this a little bit backwards for the NFL talk. Usually we go, morning games, afternoon games, and Sunday night. You've got a lot on your mind. You've had a lot on your mind last 24 hours. I'm just going to mute my mic, and I'm going to let you go just full scorched earth on Chicago. Take it away, buddy.
There's not really much to talk about. We can go to the next game.
All right, so Packers 30, Jags 27. Jordan Love, strained groin. Should hopefully be okay. Josh Jacobs look good. Malik Willis is just the savior for the Packers. Might be one of the best backup quarterbacks in football.
Before you get into your thoughts, I gotta say this.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Jordan Love goes down. I thought Trevor Lawrence looked really good. So shout out to him. Like their offense was very productive, and you need that because now Christian Kirk's out for the season. Which that sucks for Christian Kirk. But Brian Thomas, like
what was it officially? Was it
I'm pretty sure it was. I just saw that he was out for the season. I didn't see the injury. Other than the fumble, I thought Trevor Lawrence had a good game. I mean, he had the fumble, which was really bad. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence played good. Christian Kirk's out for the season. You need Brian Thomas to establish himself. Evan Ingram is back. You need that for the
broken collarbone.
Yeah, that sucks for him.
Came down on that motherfucker hard too.
Yeah, no, I guess Malik Willis is good now. I mean, he looks so much different than when he was on the Titans, dude. Like he looks confident, makes good decisions, good thrower of the football.
That play to Jaden Reed.
Yeah,
did you see they worked it up on the sidelines?
Yeah, I know. Well, and I hope Jordan Love's okay. Like I don't root for injuries. Like apparently it's not as serious. You said?
Yeah, it's a strained groin. That's what they said. So
who was the other guy that was injured?
Jair had an MRI on his knee. Josh Jacobs is fine. I haven't seen an update on Jair. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Oof, that's rough. You cannot afford to lose him.
Jordan Love gets good news. Jair Alexander misses big injury. Jair's knee injury is not significant.
They'll probably sit him out, right? Oh no, you can't. You're playing Lions.
Yeah.
You kind of like to rest him. You don't want that injury to be any worse.
Yeah.
You might as well just go ahead and chalk that up as a loss. It's in Detroit, correct?
Is it?
If it's in Green Bay, you have a chance.
It's in Green Bay.
Okay. So you might win this game. You're going to go 1-1 with the Lions. Like I have a feeling that you will go 1-1. I think when you play the Lions, you're going to win close against them. Like I can see it being like a 28-24 game. I just think like when you play the Lions the second time, it could get really ugly. I think that for my team as well, and I think that for the Vikings. They've already beaten the Vikings once. I think the second time they play the Vikings, and the Vikings don't have a mastermind game plan because you have to play perfect against the Lions.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about the Green Bay Packers is they have a winning culture and they always get it right, and their players are disciplined and they are a functional organization. Who was the running back that instead of going for the touchdown, he slid?
Oh, the undrafted free agent Chris Brooks.
What a testament to the Green Bay Packers and being a very functional organization. And he's never scored a touchdown. He is touchdownless in his career. You know how much like self-discipline and like how tough that has to feel for him. But it's like a testament to them where he's thinking about the team and thinking about the game and would rather have the win. That's called great coaching. That's called being part of a winning culture and putting your team above yourself. And yeah, it really stinks. Like at least you have that going for you. So
that's true. Defense looked good. Like I said, I mean, Trevor Lawrence just had maybe his best game.
Yeah, honestly, I think
one of his better games of the season.
Kind of getting into a rhythm. I'm starting to see things with Trevor Lawrence that, like, I had my doubts about him. How was he going to be able to handle a dysfunction? And he's kind of like putting it together. Like, there's a reason he was the number one pick and touted as a generational talent. Like, he had some throws in this game that were, the guy can sling it. He can absolutely rip it.
Can we
stud, dude. Good lord.
Yeah,
I think the Packers defense is good. I just think Brian Thomas is.
Can we talk about the fact that you and I just completely missed this obvious holiday on our preview episode, and we were just so uninformed, and we apologize to the public that don't really watch this. For the people that do, we apologize. We completely missed the fact that it was National Tight End Day on Sunday, and the NFL made us fucking pay.
Mm-hmm.
There was more. I think the stat was there was more tight end touchdowns or receptions or something in this game than there had been in any other, or in this weekend than there had been in any other Sunday in NFL history.
Tight ends went crazy.
Speaking of which, Tucker Kraft continues to be one of my favorite players on this football team.
What happened to Musgrave? Like, is he?
He's out for the season. Oh well, indefinitely. He could technically return. He's on IR, but he's got a maybe a groin injury. I don't remember exactly.
I feel awesome to have two really good tight ends. Like, it just.
Let's see, ankle. He's got an ankle injury. He's on IR.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was very scared for the game-winning field goal. I forgot that you actually had a good kicker in Brandon McManus, and it was his revenge game.
Yep.
It was his revenge game. Does it feel good to finally have a kicker?
Dude,
Andrew Carlson's been taking kicks for the 49ers. Apparently,
I was watching that game last night, and you could I could bring Aurora in here, and every time he made a kick, I was like, "You piece of fucking shit!" Like every time. And he made like 50+ yarders, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's just
fucking bastard.
Maybe they have the best special teams coordinator.
Yeah, we're some
Is that a testament on your special teams coordinator? Can't develop a kicker?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, now you have a kicker, and you need to be good on all phases. Jordan Love didn't have his best game, but then again, he didn't really get to play much. Like, he could have had a brilliant fourth quarter maybe, but he got hurt. What happened? Like, he just got it looked like he got smushed in between two players.
Well, so there was a flag. Hold on. In the Monday night game, there was a flag thrown on the snap. Then someone hit the punter, and then Calvin Austin returns. What the fuck? No, so earlier in the game, he's rolling out to his strong side, and then he throws the ball. And when he comes down, he lands kind of awkward. And he landed kind of like on the side of his foot, but still on the bottom. And I think something happened, and it something happened in his groin.
Hurt his balls. Oh, wow.
Something, maybe. I don't know. And then it was just kind of wearing on him. Like, you'd see he'd make another throw, and he's just kind of coming up easy, a little gingerly on that groin, on that leg. And then he steps into a throw. He gets kind of bumped. He falls back, and then he gets hit in the back by Trayvon Walker, and it was just kind of it. I think he was already really, really battling out there, and it was just the last straw. So, but yeah, Malik Willis came in, looked good, just did what he's done all season and just be efficient. He runs the ball with confidence. That one first down run he had for like 20-something yards, I think he could have gotten rid of it and got Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed was by himself. There was no one within 15 yards of him, but still a great play. Lets Jaden Reed go down and block for him, and gets a good first down. Romeo Doubs continues to catch everything. Christian Watson's playing well. Dontavian Wicks is hit or miss. Yeah, it's a good team win. Back-to-back walk-off winners. Dontavian?
He is going to be a problem.
If he can figure out the hands thing, he's one of the best route runners on the team. And
I think he is your best route runner. There are just some times when I'm watching him, he knows what he's doing on the field.
Yeah.
Just catch the ball, stick your gloves, put some super glue on there.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, good team win. That's back-to-back weeks where we've had to win with a walk-off field goal. And we got the Lions coming to town.
I mean, I know the Jags aren't a good team. You probably should have blown them out, but when you lose your quarterback and Trevor Lawrence is just playing incredible football, and it's in Jacksonville too, so
yeah. So
their second home.
But we'll take it. I did make Aurora go. So my fiance Aurora, she has worn her Packers sweatshirt on every game except 2 this season. That was the Eagles game and the Vikings game. I told her on Wednesday, I said, hey, probably don't got to take the sweatshirt out the closet this weekend. I think we're going to be fine. Jordan Love goes down. I was like, go get it right now. And credit to her. She put it on, and she willed this team to victory in spirit. So I appreciate that.
What's your address again?
I'm not gonna give that out over the internet. I'm gonna send some anthrax my way, a bomb. What are you doing, man?
But I just wanted to see the jacket.
You just want to send her a Bears fucking hoodie, make her wear it on Sundays.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, good team win. Really appreciate the fiance stepping up and winning this one for us. So, but yeah, I'm super happy with it. I'm terrified to play the Lions this weekend, but we'll see. We'll see. Do you actually want to talk about the Bears game?
Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about it.
You got to. You got to, man. So I'll set the scene for you. I'll let you gather some thoughts.
Well, what do you? And you can be honest. I mean, you're a Packers fan. That was fun for you.
It was, and then I immediately felt bad for you and my buddy Simon because I was like, "Fuck, dude, played the worst game you've seen all season, arguably, and just fucking smoked it." Dude. Sucks.
So yeah, I was really upset when you sent me that text before Washington could get the drive. I was really upset with.
It's my fault you lost.
No, it wasn't just you. Brasher texted me. My mom was watching the game with me. They both said, they were like, "Man, like you should, like Caleb Williams is the truth. Game-winning drive. Like that's why you have him." I felt like at the Chiefs for a moment, or like nothing was going right. We were playing terrible, and then we just had a quarterback that could will us back to victory. It felt amazing. Like I had not been able to feel that.
Text. Just see if it'll load. You can keep talking.
We both kind of, yeah, congratulations. Holy shit. Yeah.
And then Sackboy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm done with Eberflus. I already had questions about the Shane Waldron hire. I wasn't like a big fan, but like I don't know. You go out there. I know you're on the road. You've had a bye week to prepare. You've had tons of time to watch film. You couldn't come up with a game plan? Like you're just plotting? Like it felt like I was watching a Seth Luttrell OU game. Like there's just no game plan. There's no identity. Like, hey, well, how do we want to get this thing rolling? How do we want to score early? We're out the passing game coordinator, Thomas Brown. I don't know what he was thinking in dialing up the game. It just it was just like I can't help but laugh. Like I'm so numb to it by now. Like this is just what I go through as a Bears fan. And
the ha 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 text kind of scared me. I was like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Like we shouldn't have won that game. We shouldn't have. We played terrible. And I want to credit Washington, Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury had a game plan. They have a bunch of nobodies on their defensive line. They have Deron Payne now that Jonathan Allen's out. Like he's the only pass rusher that I know on that front four. But they were dialing up different pressures, different blitz packages. I mean, they did everything to disguise some of their coverages. They were getting to Caleb Williams. They were putting pressure on him. They knew we had a weak offensive line that was playing better. How do you get them discombobulated? You throw out different things, and Caleb Williams, like it's like they don't have a game plan. They want him to control everything, and I appreciate that. Like, hey, you want your rookie quarterback to learn to be a quarterback in a hard league to play in, but he will get that. Like as you go, like there's growing pains, but like you had to win this game. You did. Like there's no like. You have a tough schedule coming up. You have to play the Packers and the Lions and the Vikings and the 49ers. Like it's not going to get easy. Like that was a must win. These games coming up, like the Cardinals is a must win. The Patriots, like all these games are must wins, and you had no plan. Like it just, I'm a lot angrier than I sound right now. Like I promise you, I'm trying to control it, but it's just like, what are you doing? DeAndre Swift on third down picks up that first down. It was clear as day on the replay that he had gotten the first down. Why don't you challenge it? You hurry up to the line and throw a screen pass to DJ Moore with no blockers that help. They just throw a screen pass. There's nobody on the other side of the field to him. The play made no sense. And Shane Waldron, I'm done with Shane Waldron. It's 3rd and goal. It's 3rd and goal. You're at the goal line. You should hand it off to Roschon Johnson, your best goal line running back. No, we're going to hand it off to Doug Kramer, a backup center. I feel bad that he was in that spot because now people are criticizing him. It's not his fault. Why the hell was
that's a tough spot to put your backup center. That's a tough spot to put any lineman in general.
They were trying, Refrigerator Perry, let's create the Super Bowl moment. No. What the fuck are you doing? And ultimately, he loses the handoff and Washington gets it. Our defense was awesome. And Washington was moving the ball down the field, but it was a very bend but don't break. Like they made Washington settle for field goals. But everybody's going to remember how awesome Jaden Daniels was and how bad Caleb Williams was. And Caleb Williams wasn't good. He was missing throws, but he had some big boy throws in the 4th quarter where it's like, that's why you draft that guy number 1. Doesn't matter though. I mean, and I see it all the time. It's not going to change my opinion of Caleb Williams. I still think he's a great quarterback and has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback. Not saying he is right now or that he will be anytime soon, but like with his talent, I think he will as long as they can. If he can overcome the Bears, then absolutely he could be. But that throw to DJ Moore was, I mean, that's like a big boy NFL throw, pressure in his face. That was incredible. And then the 4th quarter where they scored the 2nd touchdown, first and goal, and you throw a fade route to DJ Moore, and like when he threw it, I thought, okay, well maybe they're just trying to waste time. Why not run the ball? Why does that have to be an incomplete pass? Make Washington use their last timeout. Run the ball. If they're going to stop you, that's going to bleed the clock. You throw an incomplete pass, and then on 2nd down you run it in for a touchdown. It's just mismanagement like that. Like Matt Eberflus is such an idiot at times. He is 3-15 on the road, by the way.
God.
Those wins were against Bailey Zappi, Sam Howell, and I don't remember who the other one was, but it wasn't a good quarterback.
It makes me feel any better. Bailey Zappi almost beat the Packers.
Yeah.
With Aaron Rodgers, by the way.
And that's what I don't understand. Like Eberflus, that mastermind coaching with a terrible roster. They went 3-14 that year. Outcoached Belichick, outplayed Belichick in every sense of the word, outplayed. And then he goes and puts that out there. So yeah, I know Caleb Williams wasn't great, but
Caleb Williams was not the reason you guys lost that game.
I mean, he could have played better, yes.
He wasn't the reason you were going to win, but he wasn't the reason you guys lost ultimately.
Yeah. He was the reason we were going to win. Yeah. You can't even call it a comeback. DeAndre Swift, I'm so glad I talked shit about him because all of a sudden he became – that guy is incredible.
Yeah.
No moral victories in this one. Everybody's going to remember the Hail Mary that Jaden Daniels threw, but we're going to forget that Matt Eberflus completely backed off all of his players in a prevent defense to allow for Jaden Daniels to get that 1st down throw to Zach Ertz to have 1 second left on the clock.
Yeah.
They're going to forget. And I don't, and people were like, well, the holding, like they were holding on the Hail Mary play. They're not going to call holding on the offensive line. They're not going to call pass interference on Hail Marys either. That's not what I'm mad about.
Yeah.
And the video came out of Tyreek Stevenson. He issued the apology, which, whatever, dude. Like, he's been undisciplined his entire career here, and I think it's just an element to him and the coaching staff. Like, if you're going to allow that, then you probably don't need to be coaching or be a head coach. But his defense is good. Like, his defense, I don't even know if they've been good. They give up a ton of yards, but their bend don't break. Like, they don't let you score easy. Yeah. So I don't know. The Hail Mary was short. It was short by like 3 yards. Tyree Stevenson, well, first of all, Kevin Byard should have been back there. He should have been the deep man covering if a receiver was outside. He didn't. He just went up there. And then Tyree Stevenson, who wasn't paying attention to the play, sees the throw, immediately goes up there, and he's the one that tips it into Noah Brown. I don't know. It just there's a lot more that I can harp on. I know you don't want to listen. It's just,
I mean,
it's the pain that I feel. It's the pain that I feel. Yeah. You're getting a lot of enjoyment out of this. I know you don't feel bad for the Bears. I know you You feel bad, but
I don't feel bad for the Bears. I feel bad for my buddies, though. I'm not gonna lie. You could ask Aurora. When I saw them catch it, I laughed. Okay, for about 10, 15 minutes, roughly, and then I was like, "Fuck!" Did I feel bad for you and for Simon? I was hurting for you. But also, I don't know that feeling. Like I'm usually on the other side of that. I'm usually on the commander side where it's like, holy shit, my quarterback
and that's
just
why
did
I
it
was
again.
really pissed off when people were texting me and saying like, "Congratulations, like you stole that one." Like that's why you draft Caleb Williams. That's why Brian
Oh,
like that's why you draft Caleb Williams. I'm like, this isn't. You remember when Dalen Gabriel got the game-winning drive against Texas last year?
yep,
There was no worry after that. You had no worry that I had absolutely no worry in my mind that we were going to bat that ball down on the Hail Mary play.
yep,
Like I wasn't because I know like that's a well-coached team and a good winning program. Like they're going to figure out or they're not going to let that one come in easy. The
yeah,
Bears are a completely different story. I kept saying it too. I was like, it's anything could happen. Like if it could happen to anybody, it's the Bears. And like you could see the sideline reaction of Caleb Williams. He was so pissed and so upset. And then they zoom over to Keenan Allen. He's just laughing because
yeah.
he's been with the Chargers. Like that's just like he knows what that feels like. The Chargers, like that's the most Chargers and Bears way to lose a football game. So like he couldn't help but laugh. Like that's just welcome to the reality, Caleb. Can you save the Bears? And I feel bad for him because that's a lot to put on his shoulders, but like it's a testament to Dan Quinn. Like that defensive line were playing with their hair on fire, dude. They
Oh yeah,
breaded that defense. Like they're on paper, top to bottom, Chicago's roster is way better than Washington's. But one thing is for certain, they spent a lot of money in the offseason on their offensive line, and their offensive line was clutch. Like they weren't allowing anything easy. I thought our defensive line still played good. It's just coverage wise, man. Cliff Kingsbury knows how to scheme things open. He knows how to simplify things and utilize Jaden Daniels to his strengths. But yeah,
yeah,
no, Jaden Daniels is just the better quarterback, and he's so much better than Caleb Williams. And Chicago made the wrong choice again. I just think that's hilarious. Like
yeah.
that
No,
stuff doesn't get to me.
it's such a
That stuff doesn't
lazy
get to me.
take.
Like it's just
I don't
yeah.
know. It's just it's tough,
It-
man. And I genuinely, you may not believe it, but I do genuinely feel bad for you because that's an awful fucking way to cap your weekend. Like it was a bad weekend all around,
Yeah, the
sports
game plan was
wise.
bad. The mismanagement in the game was absolutely terrible. I still believe like Caleb Williams is the future quarterback. You got to pay him. Like I just think he's shown me enough this season, even as a rookie, where I'm like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. I know
Well,
he was
he's shown you
terrible.
the development though. That's the biggest piece. Is he's shown
Well,
you the ability to go do it on a week in, week out basis.
and and look, I know he was terrible. Like he was 10 of 24 and 131 yards, but he with the way he clutched up in the fourth quarter when nothing was going well, and you needed him to make big plays, like scrambling out of the pocket. The throw on the run to Keenan Allen, like he's about to get sacked. He finds Keenan Allen, he makes the throw. The sidearm that he does to Cole Kmet. Why don't they target Cole Kmet more? Like, why is our tight end just
Y'all did for what, like one game,
yeah?
the Jags
Like
game.
that's what I don't understand. Like he's a good tight end. Is he great? No. But like he's shown like he can come up big. I don't know. There's just a lot that like I don't know if Shane Waldron really ever has a game plan. That's what sucks. We have a good running backs coach though. Like they've developed very nicely.
Yeah, yeah. Roshan Johnson looks pretty good. I've
But
always liked him.
yeah.
You got
And
any you got any other thoughts? I'm
yeah,
sure there's thousands of them, but
I think you have to trade Kevin Jenkins or Tevin Jenkins at this point.
sell as high as you possibly can, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean when Bill Murray's out there, I mean the offense just looks different when he's a backup. He got injured and like they took out Tevin Jenkins because he got hurt. They put Bill Murray in, and the
By the
offense was
way,
thriving.
a player in Chicago named Bill Murray is just hilarious.
Yeah, he looks good. Braxton
Yes.
Jones came out and they had to put Amagaji in the rookie from Yale at left tackle. That's a tough position to put him in, and Bears fans are really pissed off. I know they're not upset with him because that's just a tough spot to put him in when
Mm-hmm.
you have Dan Campbell rah-rah speech, but having these guys believe that they're a good defense. And they are. Like, they've been much better as a passing defense, but that's a tough position to put him in. I think he has a higher ceiling than Braxton Jones. He's just a little bit more athletic. I think he will develop nicely. I think you just put him in. I think the season, more than likely, we're not going to make the playoffs now. I think you let him develop and you put him out there. Maybe you hire a new offensive line coach because it's just not working with this guy that we have.
I feel like you're talking about the OU football team.
No. Well, I mean, kind of the same thing with the OU football team, but like you
At least
need
you have the guy in Bill Beatonbow.
I know Coleman Shelton, like he's the best center that you have, but man, you got to get a new center. Like maybe you can get Wyatt Teller from Cleveland or draft one. I would rather get an established guy at center already.
Yeah. At least as a Band-Aid. You get a veteran the guy's played a couple years just so, you can maybe look elsewhere.
Let's see. What do we got? You know, here's where I'm at with the offensive line. Wait, where's he at? I like Matt Pryor at right guard more than I do Nate Davis now. I think, man, he plays with a lot of like fight and like he finishes. Like I know he's not the best right guard, but with where the season at is where it's at right now, I think Matt Pryor is your right guard going forward. He plays so much better.
Yeah.
And then Bill Murray, I think he has to be your left guard. Like I know Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis have a higher ceiling, but they just aren't getting it done. Like he can't pick up simple stunts. It doesn't feel like Tevin Jenkins has the same mauling mentality that he had. And he's just when he goes up against a good team, it doesn't look good for him. So I think Bill Murray has to be your left guard. And I think Amagachi, like I think you have to play him at left tackle. Maybe put Braxton Jones in. Maybe put him at left guard.
I can see that.
But you have to get a new center. And Darnell Wright, for how bad the offensive line was, he was awesome yesterday.
Yeah.
That is what it's supposed to look. Texans game did not look good for him. Yeah, no, I have a lot of thoughts. I'm just not going to get into all of them.
Yeah, I feel that.
Not having Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon really hurt this team on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no offense to the backups. Like you have to do what you can against that offense. And I thought they played really well, but Kyler Gordon just is a difference maker. He's Kendall Dolby.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's Kendall Dolby. But yeah, no, we are absolutely way behind Packers, Vikings, and Lions right now. The Packers don't lose that game. The Vikings don't lose that game.
The Giants aren't in that position, or the Lions aren't in that position. They're just blowing everybody out of the fucking water.
Good night. But yeah, no, Jaden Daniels, like, I'm good for him. I kind of have a vendetta against him now, and I really liked him, and I wanted him to succeed. But like, I think it is kind of getting to me where it's like, the last play was lucky.
Yeah.
It was a lucky play. Like the rest of the game that he played, he was phenomenal. But the Hail Mary was the part that everybody's going to remember. It's like, not the first quarter, not the second quarter where he was awesome.
Better be lucky than good sometimes.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you have a brilliant QB coach that's your offensive coordinator.
Yeah. We got to get moving. Any wrap up thoughts on that game?
I think the season's over now. That game kind of solidified it for me. We're not going to. The Cardinals.
Y'all do have a.
The Cardinals are looking way better.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all go to Arizona, back home for the Patriots. You get the Packers at home off a bye. You get 3 straight home games. Patriots again, Packers off the bye. Then you get the Vikings. Then you short week, Thanksgiving against the Lions. And then, and then you go at Niners. Go at Lions on a short week, at Niners, at Vikings. You're home for the Lions, Seahawks, and then you finish up the season in Lambeau.
Which is the 49ers because we always play the 49ers close.
Yeah, you remember that fucking hurricane y'all played in a few
We
years
either beat
ago?
the 49ers or we played them close.
Yeah,
Well, even the year before that, Justin Fields rookie, we barely lost that game.
yeah.
Like, it makes no sense why we're good against
Yeah, I
Kyle
wish
Shanahan.
we had the same fucking luck against the 49ers in the playoffs you don't have in the regular season, but it's neither here nor there. Moving on, we'll kind of rapid fire through a couple of these. Jets Patriots. Jets are just awful. So the Patriots, but they were better than the Jets.
What is the status on Drake May? Is he
Don't know.
concussed?
See if there's an update.
He looked awesome.
He
in the
did,
first game.
man. He did. I don't think that game's as close as it is at the end if he plays the full game.
They probably blow out the Jets if he's still playing because like he's
questionable
developing.
as of today.
He might have a concussion.
Yeah.
The Jets. I mean, they have to hire like a winning head coach. Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah.
Fire Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah. I mean, if you do that, I'm honestly at the point. I don't know that Aaron Rodgers stays another year. I mean, I know he'd hate for his legacy to end that way, but how much better is it going to get?
Devontae Adams. He just got over there.
From 2-6 to 2-6 to homies. So, yeah, no, Jets are a dumpster fire as always.
And the Patriots, man, time is a flat circle for the Jets. I feel so bad for them.
Oh God, I know.
Like they have to be, they're cursed, man.
Yeah, no, easily. Moving on. Texans Colts, a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Colts really hung in this one. Did you hear about the whole Anthony Richardson thing? I know. What'd you text me at one point? He was like fucking 4 of like
2 of 15.
2 of 15. That's what it was. Oh God. What did he finish? 10 of 32, 175 yards, touchdown, and interception. Oh. Jonathan Taylor looked great. Joe Mixon just continues to be outstanding. CJ Stroud did enough for them to win. It was just, I mean, it was a good game. Like, it was an entertaining football game. It's kind of what you expect a division game to be, but you know, I didn't have much hope for the Colts. Feels weird though that they're
Joe Mixon anytime touchdown was.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, fantastic bet.
Joe Flacco gave him a chance to win.
Joe Flacco might win.
I'm saying Joe Flacco gave them a chance to win, so
yeah, he might have won that game.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it was Anthony Richardson and QB. Man, like I don't know.
Did you? Yeah, no. I feel like. Did you see the thing where he was wanting to sit out in the third quarter and not want to go back in?
I probably would have done the same if I was in his
playing that bad
position. Yeah, but the Texans have a really good defense. They still got some stuff to figure out on the offensive line.
Yeah.
But big bounce back game for CJ Stroud. They desperately need Nico Collins back. Because if Tank Dell's got it going finally. And also Stephon Diggs, we don't know the status on him. He got injured in that game as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, in 2 weeks, that Lions Texans game is going to be huge, man. That's going to be very entertaining. The Texans get the Jets on Halloween night this week, but yeah. So I don't have a whole lot more on that one.
Stop putting the Jets on primetime.
God, fuck, I know.
And they should be able to flex a Thursday night game. Yeah. Which I know they'll never do that because short week.
But. Yeah, no, the NFL team that gets fucking up is the two teams that get screwed out of that would lose their minds.
Yeah.
Falcons Bucks, man. I'm glad Baker kept it as close as he could. Bucky Irving is fantastic.
Kirk Cousins he's 4-0 in the NFC South now. So I think they've officially won the division in my mind, barring anything happens. But I mean, they put it all together, and I mean that's why you go and get Kirk Cousins. He There's no reason to play Michael Penix, right? Like they drafted him thinking, hey, if anything happens to Kirk Cousins, I mean, it looks like he's firing on all cylinders. I don't
You let Michael
really,
Penix just sit back there and learn, dude. Let him learn.
yeah, no kidding. I don't know what Todd Bowles was like. He's out as head coach, right? Like
Has to be.
you're a defensive mind. I know like you had to deal with some injuries, but you have to game plan better. Like you were letting him throw or Kirk Cousins throw all over your defense. You
I'm
were
still
letting
here, by
Kirk
the way.
Cousins throw all over your defense, and you're just going to get a full stat sheet with Baker Mayfield. I mean, that's just like he's going to be a guy that throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a couple of interceptions. Like that's just with what he's done on offense right now. He's a gunslinger. Like he's going to try to make plays. But he's going to also help you get into position to score a bunch of points, and they have been. I mean, they've been averaging like what 24 to 26 points a game.
Let's see. They've scored 37, 27, 16, 30, 51, 31, 26. It's
Yeah, so
pretty good.
like Liam Coleman
Sufficient enough.
was a great hire for offensive coordinator because he's scoring a bunch of points. He scored
Yeah.
26 without his 2 top wide receivers. So yeah, Bucky Irving, he's awesome. All their running backs are really good. I, I just don't know. I think Todd Bowles, the experiment's over. He is what he is as a head coach.
Yep.
Your window, it's closed. Like you got to go out and get a new head coach. Great defensive coordinator, one of the best. Maybe they can convince him to step down and hire a new head coach. I don't know.
I
Probably
don't know.
wouldn't take that.
No,
But
he want to go somewhere else. Um, Eagles Bengals. I thought this one was going to be a lot closer.
shit pumping.
Eagles just took off, man.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, two guys that are probably very good at running the ball.
Probably, yeah, probably.
And the window's officially closed for the Bengals. Like I mean, yeah. I don't know.
See Burrow. He was
You
like,
have to
yeah,
beat
you should get
you
in
have to
with,
win
yeah.
your division. You can't lose anymore. You have to. Obviously, they're going to beat the Raiders next week. They have to beat the Ravens in Baltimore. And
Yep.
that's a Thursday night game. I know Lamar Jackson's really good in prime time, but you have to win that game. Got to beat the Chargers. Got to be like you have to win out. Like there's no room for error now.
Yep.
You officially have to, and I don't think they will be able to because their defense just isn't very good.
Yeah.
So the window is starting to close. If you can keep Jamar Chase and T Higgins, that's very beneficial because you got pieces on the offensive line, but now you kind of have to rebuild your defense.
Yep.
Shouldn't have gotten rid of Jesse Bates.
I agree. Titans Lions. God fucking damn the Lions, man. Clearly the best team in football right now, right? Clearly. I mean, we said it last
I
week.
don't even think it's close because Jared Goff didn't even have 100 yards throwing the ball.
Did you see
And
the dude that wagered anytime touchdown for 6 different Lions players and won like 22 grand?
I mean, yeah, Khalif Raymond is a fantastic football player. Who like where do they
Jameer
they're going to develop.
Gibbs, just
They're just incredible at developing players. Like the Lions are a completely different franchise now, and I said it before. The Dan Campbell hire was the correct hire, and a lot of people thought I was stupid.
dude, oh my god.
I didn't,
I
I thought about
love
it at first.
Dan
I was like, that might
Campbell.
have been a really stupid hire, and then I heard his press conference, his very first press conference, and I was like, never mind. He's a winning head coach. Colin
I
Coward looks
love
like a
Dan
fucking
Campbell with
idiot now, which he always looks like an idiot.
yeah,
But
of course. Why can't Dan Campbell be like, I don't know, the Bengals head coach? Like, why is he gotta be a
the
fucking
Bears head
lion?
coach.
Oh, fuck you. Why is he gotta be a lion, dude? I want so badly for him to succeed and do well and win championships, but I can't do it if it's a division rival. And he's making me not hate the fucking Lions as much. And it just irks my soul, dude. Like, even like
Uh,
the Jags head coach, man. But he fits so perfectly in Detroit, though. Like, I don't know that his style would fit everywhere. Not because of the players, but like he is MCDC. He's Motor City Dan Campbell, and there's no taking
yeah.
it.
They're an absolute wagon, and the fact that they can score, like the fact that they can just absolutely shit pump even a bad team, with Jared Goff only having 86 yards, still
Most
3
people
touchdowns.
thought the Titans had one of the better defenses in the league, dude.
Well, punt return for a touchdown. I mean, they just were
Yeah, sure.
Brock Wright. I mean, isn't Brock Wright an offensive lineman? Then they had a touchdown throw to an offensive lineman.
David Montgomery to another offensive lineman for a fucking touchdown. It's the best team in football, man.
Incredible. And the Lions are an absolute wagon. Who's left on their schedule? If they,
yeah,
I think they probably lose next week if Jordan Love is back, just because tough place to play Lambeau. Well, which Lambeau might not be a tough place to play anymore. Maybe you
they
beat
kicked
them.
our ass last year in Lambeau.
Yeah, maybe you beat them in Detroit
team,
and lose. Yeah,
I
don't know, man. I think
they
no longer. It's no longer like, hey, man, if they beat the Bills or if they beat the 49ers, now it's like if they lose to the Bills and 49ers, like there's issues.
Yeah.
Like they should easily only lose like 2 more games, and that's to divisional opponents because that's a divisional matchup.
Whew. That Texans game in 2 weeks is going to be awesome. I mean, the game this weekend, if Jordan Love's healthy and is near 100%, the game's going to be awesome. But Lions Texans, I would think it'd be fun, but they honestly, the more I think about it, they might shit pump the fucking Texans.
You're giving a lot of credit to the Texans. I think the Lions.
Yeah, the more I've thought about it, the more I keep saying it. I think they kick the shit out of the Texans.
We're trying to remember the Texans during the offseason and their acquisitions, but they're still trying to put it together, which they're winning football games, but I don't know.
They're losing quality opponents, though.
Feels like Ben Johnson's awful. Jared Goff is playing, I think, the best of any quarterback right now in terms of like a pro style managing the game. Mm-hmm. You can call him a game manager. He's the best game manager in football, and I think if they played the Ravens, I know Lamar Jackson's record against NFC teams, but
that's not Lamar Jackson's record against NFC.
Well, he absolutely shit pumped the Lions last year.
He did.
I think Dan Campbell would be out for revenge.
I feel like Dan Campbell takes everything so serious, like a mafia boss. Like you step on his.
I want that in the head coach.
I know. You scuff his shoe at dinner. 14 years later, he's like got your whole family tied up and a gun to your head.
Dude, look what he did to the Cowboys. And
go for it on fourth down.
If you were to play the Ravens this year, I guarantee you he'd be like, remember what happened last year? Like I guarantee you he would have.
Once we get a Lions-Ravens Super Bowl and he beats them by 100, I wouldn't put it past him. Like
I would suffer so much watching that Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, it would be awful, but DC. The
Lions are a wagon.
Yeah, insane. I'm saving this one for last. So we'll get into this one real quick. Cardinals are 4-4. I know the Dolphins aren't that good, but Tua looked decent being back. That's the best their offense has looked since Tua went out. But Marvin Harrison was insane.
I guess. I think the Cardinals are a good team.
Yeah,
I had them as being a much better team this year, but they unlocked Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. 15 receptions for 235 yards between the two. Turns out you just need to continue to target those guys. And Kyler Murray, it looks like he's figured it out.
Yeah, looks like Kyler Murray's enjoying football a little bit more than Call of Duty right now.
Yeah, I know. And Call of Duty just came out. I have an idea. Why don't we have that guy just play Call of Duty for the rest of the week and not game plan for the Bears?
Yeah.
Please. 4-4 now, and the Dolphins' offense is still really good. Now they have Tua out there. I don't think they were ever a bad offense. They were just missing Tua, and I mean they got that. They did enough to win the game. I don't know what happened to the Dolphins' defense. I think it's just like I don't know. It's just disappeared.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel. I guess Mike McDaniel's kind of on the hot seat now, which I don't know. I know Dolphins fans aren't very happy because the team just doesn't look physical and tough. They look very speed and finesse.
Yeah. It's only going to do so much for you. It's only going to win you so many games.
So what happens if Mike McDaniels is gone? I mean, because he's obviously helped Tua so much.
Good question. Like you go get Ben Johnson.
I think the Bears should get Ben Johnson. My luck, he would step foot in the city and then get hit by a bus.
It'd be like the whole Josh McDaniel things on a flight to go get the job. He's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back. I think I'm gonna stay where I was.
Oh man.
But next game here, last of the morning games I want to get to. Jameis fucking Winston, man. God damn it, he makes football so exciting. Throws a fucking interception. Colin Hamilton just drops it next play, game-winning touchdown. Awesome. Awesome football. I love Jameis Winston. Did you see the pregame where he was like, you play for the name on the back of your jerseys and you play for the name on your helmet? And he go, well, we ain't got no decal. Just play for the Browns.
What was his Eminem quote? He said there was a man from Detroit. I gotta find it.
While you're looking that up, did you also see his interview, his sideline interview, where he just kept repeating the same like prayer the entire time, or the same whatever the fuck he was saying? Oh, dude, it just Jameis fucking.
You know, he's the best. He had an Eminem quote, and it was like, you know, it was like the Eminem song, "To Lose Yourself." He had that quote. No, Jameis Winston. Like the Browns haven't scored 20 points all season. You get that with Jameis Winston. He was awesome. He may be the best like spark like for a team. Like he's just the ultimate glue guy, the vibes guy. We love Jameis Winston on this podcast. He's the best, and I mean, who knows what you can't take these games for granted. You don't know how much more Jameis Winston you're going to get, but he's just the best. And it turns out Kevin Stefanski can coach. Like now, him beating the Ravens. What is it about the Browns and just being really? I mean, I know they are very good against their divisional opponents, but like Kevin Stefanski, like yeah, it turns out he's a good coach and he's a good offensive coordinator, and he could finally be like, yeah, no, it turns out I knew how to coach all along. I was just forced to play Jameis Winston. Haslam has to sell the team, right? Like he's kind of in that boat now where it's like he's a shitty owner for making Browns fans go through that and making Kevin Stefanski go through that.
Yeah.
You have a window with a different quarterback. Like it turns out, like Kevin Stefanski's offense works when you have somebody not named Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
When you're not forcing Baker Mayfield to play on a broken shoulder.
Yeah, and throw the 50 fucking times a game.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Haslam, you got to get some dirt on him. Or we need to find a way where he's embezzling money because NFL owners don't give a shit what players do, like Deshaun Watson, like his sex scandals and whatever. Like NFL owners don't give a shit about the conduct for players. They just care about their money.
Exactly.
So the Browns fans got to find a way to show that Jimmy Haslam was fucking with the owner's money to get him to sell the team.
Maybe they need
which is what nobody else wants. We don't want the Browns to be good.
Yeah, God, I know. They're just too fun when they're bad.
Shout out to Virginia McCaskey, by the way. She's our owner. She's almost dead, but
shout out to the stockholders in the Green Bay Packers, including my father, my grandfather, and me. We're great. We do great.
I should own stock in the Packers.
You should fucking never say that again.
I have an idea.
No.
I know what I'm gonna do.
No. God, no. If you watch you like buy stock of the Packers and they never win another football game. I shouldn't have even said that. God damn it.
You're on to me.
I'm gonna kill myself. Afternoon games.
Oh, so like how do we? I mean, the Ravens. I feel like they're still a very good football team.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the Ravens.
I still feel like they're a good football team. I don't know, like divisional opponent. We know Lamar's record against the NFC apparently, he was just playing an AFC team. He was playing a divisional opponent, and the Browns know how to beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
And so now they get the Broncos next, which that doesn't look like an easy win for them.
Yeah, I know.
Given Lamar's history against the AFC, he's got 4 straight AFC opponents. He's got the matchup against or John Harbaugh has the matchup against his brother Monday Night Football in 4 weeks.
Shit.
They're in win now territory.
That might be a classic. Who wants to lose this fucking football game more?
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see the tension in that game.
God, I know. Are they going to do instead of like the stitched together jersey where like the mom and dad are wearing like half of one brother's jersey and half the others? Are they just going to have like half and half polos or some shit? Maybe one's wearing black khakis, or maybe one's wearing like black chinos, the other one's wearing khaki, Yeah. One's got a visor, the other one's got a spy in the fucking Connor Stallions.
Shout out Connor Stallions.
Saints Chargers. Lad McConkey. Dog? I mean, Bulldog.
Spencer Rattler kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's done for him. It's done for Dennis Allen. Yeah, no, the Chargers, nobody gave them a chance. I try to tell people Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert is awesome. Yeah, Lad McConkey, that touchdown that he had was incredible. The second touchdown, I believe. But yeah, no, there's really not much on that game. The Saints stink. Chargers absolutely kick their ass.
Dennis Allen or Todd Bowles? Who's fired first?
Dennis Allen.
I think so.
Yeah, Dennis Allen's done for. Chargers absolutely kick their ass. Chargers are a good football team, man.
Yeah.
They just obviously they're not going to beat good football teams, but they should trounce the bad teams, and that's what they've done so far.
They'll be on the NFL in the hunt graphics pretty much until the last week of the season.
Yeah, I think they could make the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either way. They will be a wild card team. I don't think they. Obviously, this is a rebuilding year, and I think it's going to take a couple of years for them to get where Jim Harbaugh wants them to be. But I trust that so much.
Here's their schedule. Also, this is hilarious. I really want to hear your thoughts on this. They got Browns, Titans, Bengals, Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs, Bucks, Broncos, Patriots, Raiders. It's a workable schedule.
Very workable schedule.
I mean, you chalked it up. That's 1, 2, 3.
I had them as a 9-8
or
team.
5 wins. I mean, they could definitely win another 5 games.
I had them as a 9-8 team this year.
I can see that. What did you think about the player rolling over Justin Herbert's leg?
I mean, are we surprised? Like, Saints are a dirty team.
Yeah.
I love that the offensive lineman went to back for him.
Did you see what Shepard said? He said, "Oh, I had no intent to injure Justin Herbert." Yeah, of course you could say that.
Sean Watson had no intent to do what he did in those massages.
I was going to say Jameis Winston had no intent to be that funny, but he probably doesn't intend to be that way. He just naturally is like that. Yeah. Yeah, Connor Stallions had no intent to be at that Central Michigan game that day. So,
let's take a second to just say that the Dodgers are an absolute wagon. Congrats on the World Series. I probably should do that. The one Dodgers fan that listens to this is going to be so pissed.
I shouldn't say that. I've drank enough fucking football past few weeks to keep my mouth shut. So,
the what? Oh, okay. It was 15-16. Okay, and they just got the field goal. Okay, so now 26 Steelers, the Giants 18. They've got to get a stop. They got to get the ball back to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game.
Yep.
I thought they should have went for the touchdown, but you got Daniel Jones at quarterback, so I understand. You got to get what you can get. As much as I love Brian Daboll, I kind of hope they lose out the rest of their games and we can hire him as operator. Or the Bears at this point.
One of the two. Bills, Seahawks. This one, was kind of over from jump. Didn't realize it was really raining like that in that game, but The Bills.
They did whatever they wanted to against the Seahawks.
Yeah,
Passing the ball,
there was
running the
no
ball.
worry for them.
Um,
Keon Coleman looked good. Again, he's getting better.
well, having Shakir out there makes a big difference because that's a wide receiver that Josh Allen already has chemistry with, and he's going to develop more chemistry with Amari Cooper. I know Amari Cooper only had 3 targets that game.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to develop that relationship with Amari Cooper.
Agree.
And they're going to get him. It just makes a world of difference. And Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox at tight end. I mean, that Bills are a good football team.
Agree. Broncos Panthers is a 14-point game. It was more like a 50-point game. The Broncos beat the shit out of the Panthers.
I'm ready to say that 5-3. Don't look now, but Bo Nix is developing into a good quarterback. Or did they just play the Panthers? I don't know. He looked good. I mean,
he's had some good games.
2 bad teams. I don't want to go too heavy on him because I did the same thing with Caleb Williams. So the Bears aren't going to be able to beat a good team this season.
Hey,
he's got the Raiders next.
I was thinking about this on Sunday. This draft class isn't looking too bad. Caleb Williams looks good. He's been developing. Jaden Daniels has obviously been the rookie of the year so far. Bo Nix has played well. Drake May's played well when he's been in. Only question mark so far has been Michael Penix. That's just because he hasn't had to play.
Yeah. No, that's true. A lot of these
and
guys
JJ McCarthy obviously is the other question mark. That's just because he's hurt. But
yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see.
A couple years from now, you might be looking at the 2023 or 4 draft class and like, damn, pretty impressive.
I've had my thoughts on JJ McCarthy though, so yeah. But maybe with how good this draft class looks, he ends up being a stud. I hope not.
Fuck me too.
Fucking hope not. But yeah, no, the shit pumping. The Panthers are dead. I mean, poor Bryce Young.
Yeah, it's kind of rover for him.
Which he wasn't like terrible. He was better than what he had shown.
Yeah.
But you just got to give him more, man. Tepper has to sell the team.
Yes. Yeah.
When he bought the team, it was just absolutely downhill from there.
Raiders Chiefs.
Nice little 10.5 backdoor cover, huh?
Yeah. Well, the Raiders always play the Chiefs tough though. Every fucking time.
I know you want to talk bad about my boy Minshew, but I thought he actually had a pretty good game. And Brock Bowers is the truth.
Yeah. Finally got a Travis Kelce touchdown.
Yeah. I'm glad Xavier Worthy's okay. I don't remember what happened, but he got hit really hard. And I honestly didn't really watch too much of this game. I'm just going to be.
I didn't either. It was on Red Zone. I was doing some other stuff.
I was watching the Bears game heavily, so the afternoon games I didn't really get to watch too much of. But I was paying attention to the Raiders game a little bit. They were leading.
Yeah.
Until the Chiefs became the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So.
It's just a classic. The Raiders play the Chiefs harder than they play anybody else. That's really all it came down to. Cowboys Niners. Looked like it was.
You needed Dak to be Dak. Like you needed him to be an elite quarterback on the final drive, and yeah, he.
I know their run game has been one of the worst in the NFL, but you're telling me you come out of that last drive, 3.5, almost 4 minutes to go with a timeout, and you don't. No, they didn't have any timeouts. Still, 2-minute warning, and you don't at least try to run the ball maybe once.
They don't have a good running plan. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott's washed. I really think that Ezekiel Elliott has been a victim of very bad run scheme for what he likes to do.
Yeah.
You have to get the ball to him on the perimeter. You have to he's a zone scheme running back. And you've got the talent on the offensive line to run zone. I don't know why they don't do it. Like it just doesn't make any sense. And like their run game, like their run plan is so basic.
Yeah.
You have offensive linemen that you can run Misdirection. You can run counter. You can run outside zone. You can run variations of split zone. You can do all that. I don't know. I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds. CD Lamb is
I
the
want
truth.
you to, yeah, CeeDee Lamb's amazing. I want you to close your eyes though and pretend that it's 2018 and you have Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott in your backfield, and you have the worst rushing attack in all of football. You'd expect them to both be injured, right?
I would ask you, do they play for the Panthers?
Yeah, exactly.
Or not the Panthers. Who was really bad in 2018? I would ask if they played for the
The Commanders, the Washington football team.
like, the fucking Cardinals or something.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just crazy. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb obviously is just amazing though.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Dalvin Cook, he did come off of injury, so like
yeah.
they're going to develop something with him. But they got to figure that out, man.
It's been
I know
pretty
Tyler
bad.
Guyton's a rookie, but like I don't know. They're in a spot right now where I mean I know they're kind of in a rebuild. They all in my ass. I think they're going
Yeah.
to build to the draft. They've got questions like what are they going to do with Micah Parsons? Like they're going to have to pay him or trade him.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a great
I
day.
think they're in full rebuild right now. Yeah, you're going to need him because Rashawn Gary sucks.
Sean Garrett does kind of blow us this year.
Yeah. He can get it
But
if he's wide open, like if he's just nobody's blocking him.
yeah, I know, right? Fucking um
Well, don't look now, but if Chicago gets him and Montez Sweat would be a force.
yeah, I'd buy some. You think Amazon Prime has cyanide tablets? Yeah, I just pick some up. Uh,
How about this? Here's a real coach, Kyle Shanahan. Not much to work with.
yeah.
Figures it out. You've got a sick Debo Samuel. You got a rookie wide receiver who got shot before the season started.
Not even 2 months ago.
And hey, you figured out George Kittle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got George Kittle. I can't wait for the Brock Purdy discourse.
Yeah, I know.
I
I know.
cannot wait. I cannot wait to
I'm
hear.
just so curious as to what they're gonna pay him.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're kind of
God
running.
damn it, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I know. I just saw.
I mean, TJ Watt beat the shit out of that tackle, but still. Um yeah,
You
just
got
not a great. I mean, the Packers won. That's the best thing that's happened to me all weekend, which is just more than you can say necessarily, but not a good sports weekend in general. Like I said, my two fighters got their asses kicked, pretty much died right in front of me. It's
Oklahoma
just
football.
Oklahoma football's bad, dude. Like we're praying to make a bowl game, which is insane.
TJ Watt doesn't get the respect he deserves on this podcast.
That is true. That is true.
He is.
DPOY again?
He's a top 3 edge rusher in the NFL. I'll just say it.
Who's ahead of him? Miles Garrett and who? Is it Miles Garrett? I think you can argue
I'd say
TJ Watt's been more impactful than anybody else so far this year.
yeah, he has been. And Montez Sweat doesn't get the
Montez Sweat does not get the respect he deserves.
he
I've been
doesn't show up
high on
the
Montez
he
Sweat
doesn't
ever
show up on
since
the stat sheet
fucking
this
Mississippi
season, but he
State.
is garnering most of the pressure. Like he's getting double teamed. He's allowing for other guys to get free.
Yeah. So is Rashawn Gary.
Last season, he was a one-on-one a lot, and so that's why he was getting the sacks. Like they're double teaming Montez Sweat. They're playing him at multiple positions, left end, right end, inside. So like Montez Sweat, I know he's not like top 5 right now, but he's definitely, in my opinion, like number 4. Like
He's upper echelon pass rusher.
I'd say it's Miles Garrett, Max Crosby, TJ Watt, Montez Sweat, Nick Bosa. And obviously, yeah, you have to throw Micah Parsons in there, but he's been hurt. Micah Parsons is probably the best, in my opinion. I think he's the best. He's just the fastest. He's so intimidating. Like, he's the most intimidating pass rusher, in my opinion.
Yeah. Brian Burns up there.
Thibodeau, when he's healthy.
Kayvon, yeah.
Who's the best interior? Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence. Andrew Billings doesn't get a lot of respect either for Chicago.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Kenny Clark's always been criminally underrated as well.
He's really good too. We're just going on a list. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
We'll do this next
in the off season, we're gonna just have to put together our lists. We're gonna start doing tier lists.
We'll do it next episode.
Okay.
We'll do it next episode.
Yeah, because we won't have OU football to talk about. That's gonna be a shit show anyways. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I think we're good, man.
Yeah, I want to take a piss and go to bed.
I'm very sad, and I want to go to bed. I'm sad.
Me too. Well, with that being said, on the happiest of notes, we're gonna end shit here. This has been the PigSkin Podcast, season 2, episode 16, 17, whatever. We're doing better than OU at this point. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Like I said, last video, traffic's been pretty cool lately. We're doing better than we've ever done. So
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, just keep doing whatever you're doing. This is probably going to continue to get more depressing as the season goes along, as we get closer and closer to the holidays. So we'll try to keep ourselves and anybody else watching in high spirits. But like I said, just enjoy what we got going on, and enjoy football, enjoy sports, and we will enjoy the thunder. That's what we're going to do. Enjoy the thunder. The thunder.
Lightning and the thunder.
Yes.
Thunder.
Yes.
Yeah, the thunder. Lightning, thunder.
We're going to go ahead and get the fuck out of here. So see you guys later.
We'll have an episode that will record on Friday.